Chapter 5288. Lin Xian was beating up the Quasi-Emperor. Outside, Yanruyu and the others were extremely nervous. The others were even more bewildered. Was Lin Wuyi dead? In their opinion, it was very likely. At the same time, a figure appeared in another place, where the jade platform was located. That figure was dressed in cloth clothes. His face was calm, but his eyes were deep. It was Yao Guang. He looked at the ancient coffin in front of him and laughed excitedly. "That's great. I've really found it. The corpse buried here must be extraordinary. It is very likely that it is an ancient supermighty. If I devour it, my strength will increase exponentially. At that time, Han Tian and Lin Wuyi will not be my match. I am the strongest supreme martial artist of the younger generation." Yao Guang was overjoyed and walked towards the jade platform. During this time, he felt a huge pressure. The immortal King Phantom. He used the Yi family's secret technique and the Gu family's secret technique at the same time. His spatial divine ability was constantly changing. Sometimes he turned into a heavenly rock, and sometimes the power of the 5 elements condensed around him. These were the powerhouses he had swallowed before. He could use the power of these people. Finally, he arrived at the top of the jade platform. Looking at the ancient coffin, he stretched out his hands. "Open for me." With an angry roar, he pushed its power with all his might. The immortal King Phantom seemed to have fused with him, but the ancient coffin did not move at all. Damn it! Yao Guang's expression was ugly. How could he give up at this point? He took out a few weapons and placed them in different places of the ancient coffin. These were all sacred artifacts. "Break!" Yao Guang roared angrily and used his void, divine ability to escape. However, the sacred artifacts cracked, and a destructive power swept through the entire cave abode. After a wave of shaking, Yao Guang tore through the void and returned. His face was a little dark, because he found that the ancient coffin below still did not move at all. Could it not be broken? He gritted his teeth and could only use other powers. He bit his finger and drew a few blood-colored runes and imprinted them on the ancient coffin. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palms and used an ancient divine ability. It was a secret technique of the Purple Mansion. A blood-colored vortex formed above, and then a white bone hand stretched out from it. It held a divine hammer and smashed down fiercely. Sky-breaking hammer. The light-shaking realm blood mysteriously disappeared. The ancient coffin gently swayed and opened with a cracking sound. A trace of aura emerged from within. With a boom, the heaven-breaking hammer shattered into pieces and disappeared. Light-shaking realm cultivator was also sent flying by this wave of energy, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. Cracks appeared on his body. However, he became ecstatic. This was great. It was not the corpse of a saint. This was definitely the corpse of a quasi-emperor. If he had swallowed a quasi-emperor, just how terrifying was his strength? From now on, who in the world would be his match? He was so excited that he was about to cry. At the same time, the aura swept out in all directions. The others all sensed it. Heavens, what kind of aura is this? They were so frightened that they prostrated themselves on the ground. Quasi-Emperor. It was the aura of a quasi-emperor. Had the quasi-emperor behind the stone door come back to life? They all prepared to leave. Murong Qingcheng, Yanruyu, and the others' expressions also changed. What had happened? Sword World. Inside the heaven-swallowing pot, Lin Xian was currently beating up the quasi-emperor. At the same time, he was using a formation to record the situation here. The quasi-emperor was so angry that he was hovering between life and death. He had never been as sullen as he was today, but suddenly he was stunned. In the next moment, he roared towards the sky. "Who opened the ancient coffin? The heavens are helping me. Brat, just you wait for death." He laughed out loud, as if he had grabbed onto a life-saving straw in the sea of death. Originally, he thought that the one who had the most hope of opening the ancient coffin was Lin Xian, the brat in front of him. Where did he think of it? Not at all. When he left, someone actually opened the ancient coffin. No matter who it was, they had helped him fulfill his greatest wish. What? Lin Xian's pupils constricted when he heard this. The ancient coffin was opened? Impossible! Don't try to lie to me. However, the mysterious person didn't care at all. He roared angrily, and his body pushed back the great dragon's sword spirit. With a full force attack, he sent the heaven-swallowing pot flying. He rushed out. Lin Xian was pushed back by him, and the sword world opened once again. A figure flew out, and then directly flew into the distance. Disappearing, Lin Xian's qi and blood churned, and when he felt that power, his face became extremely ugly. "Brother Xian, how is it?" Murong Qingqing and the others were nervous. Lin Xian said, "I'm fine, but things are not good." Someone opened the ancient coffin. Lin Gongzi, what exactly is inside the ancient coffin? Madame Purple Star was also surprised. Was it an important magic treasure? Lin Xian shook his head. It was a corpse, the corpse of a quasi-emperor. It was the figure from before. What? When these words came out, they were all shocked. To be honest, they had never known about this before. It was just a guess. He didn't expect it to be the corpse of a quasi-emperor and the remnant soul of a quasi-emperor. With the fusion of the two, would the quasi-emperor be resurrected? That guy was obviously an enemy. Once he was resurrected, he would target them. They were in danger. Let's go. Murong Qingqing and the others looked nervous. Lin Xian also nodded. It seemed that this was the only way they had to end their trip to the immortal land early. They soared into the air and flew outside. On the jade platform, Yao Guang walked forward again. He used the demonic sky-devouring technique to devour the quasi-emperor's corpse. However, in the next moment, he was sent flying again because a mysterious figure appeared in front of him. Looking at the ancient coffin, he laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha ha, the heavens are helping me." In the next moment, the mysterious figure flew directly into the ancient coffin. Then, an earth-shattering power erupted. Yao Guang's expression became ugly. He tore open the void and instantly escaped. However, half of his body turned into a bloody mist. The others were the same. They were all vomiting blood from the impact. At this moment, even the sacred leader knelt down. This power was too strong, so strong that they couldn't resist it. Kun Pengzi was shocked, and the fire Qilint's pupils constricted. Oh no, this is a power that surpasses the sage. An emperor-level power has appeared? It's too unbelievable. Lin Xian and the others originally wanted to escape, but when they felt this power, they were also forced to retreat, their blood boiling. No, it's fused. Quickly return to the stone gate. They instantly turned back. There was no choice. If the quasi-emperor really revived, they wouldn't be able to escape. Now, only the other type of quasi-emperor's corpse could protect them. This power was still rising. It was obvious that the fusion of the two was becoming more and more perfect. At this moment, not only the entire Origin Magnet Cave Mansion, but the entire deity ground was alarmed. One figure after another looked up at the sky and prostrated on the ground. Oh heavens, what kind of power is this? A peerless expert is about to appear, not only the power of the deity ground, but also outside. He flew towards the Yuhua immortal dynasty. In the Yuhua ancient city, the experts were still waiting and discussing. They wondered how many people would have their own opportunities in this trip to the deity ground. However, at this moment, a shocking power flew out from inside. It blasted them away. These elders also vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Someone exclaimed, "Who attacked them?" No, it came from the deity ground. This was the power of a quasi-emperor. A quasi-emperor appeared in the deity ground. Chapter 5289. They were really too shocked. What did the appearance of a quasi-emperor mean? Did someone become a quasi-emperor, or did some dead quasi-emperors in the Yuhua immortal land revive? No matter which one it was an earth-shattering matter. They couldn't imagine what happened in the immortal ground. Quickly inform our hall masters. These elders quickly reported. The hall masters of the various immortal platforms were also shocked when they heard about it. Damn it! Quickly think of a way to open the Yuhua Gate. They had to go in and figure out the situation. If the dead quasi-emperors in the ancestral land were revived, then they were from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Their Yuhua Immortal Dynasty would definitely be able to create glory after becoming a quasi-emperor. And in the immortal ground, countless people were shocked and terrified. On the jade platform in the ancient coffin, a figure stood up. This was a man. He was mighty and extraordinary, and his body was surrounded by powerful laws and power. A single look from him could destroy heaven and earth. With a gentle wave of his palm, countless worlds would be reduced to ashes. He was a quasi-emperor. I'm out. Ha 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 ha. This quasi-emperor laughed loudly. In the next moment, an extremely terrifying killing intent erupted from his eyes. Little thing, you actually dared to torture me before. I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. At the thought of Lin Xian, he gritted his teeth. This time, let's see how the other party will die. Taking a step forward, his figure disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the stone door. Brat, have you already thought about how you want to die? Seeing Lin Xian and the others inside the stone door, the quasi-emperor's lips curled up into a smile. The other powerhouses in the distance originally wanted to come to the stone door to see if it was the kind of corpse that could be revived. But before they could reach it, they saw a figure descend from the sky. Heavens, who is this person? It's not the kind of quasi-emperor in the stone door, but another kind of quasi-emperor. Heavens, this is too unbelievable. They were terrified and didn't dare to approach at all. They could only watch from afar. Inside the stone door, Zi Xingyue and the others' expressions became incomparably desperate. In Murong Qingqing, Yan Ruyu also had solemn expressions. This was a peerless enemy. How terrifying a quasi-emperor was. It was unimaginable. When Lord Alcohol came out, he scared away the 1,000 Dragons dynasty with just a few words. Now, they were standing in front of a quasi-emperor. Would they be able to withstand it? Lin Xian's expression also became abnormally ugly. He had really been revived by the other party. Damn it, who is it? Who opened the coffin? The quasi-emperor in front laughed coldly. Why? Do you think you can avoid danger by hiding behind the stone door? What a joke. A mere magnetism, quasi-emperor's corpse can't do anything to me. Today, I will let you know the consequences of offending me. As he said that, he extended his hand and grabbed forward. As the sky fell and the earth cracked, the stone door also shook unceasingly. From the looks of it, the other party was no longer afraid of the corpse behind the stone door. Lin Xian also roared. He instantly took out the great dragon sword spirit and exerted all of his strength. He killed his way out. The sword shook the heavens like a dancing dragon. The two collided, and Lin Xian was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on his body as he spat out large mouthfuls of blood. He was severely injured. Older brother Xian, Murong Qingqing and Yan Ruyu's expressions also changed. Was the gap that big? Was this the power of a quasi-emperor? It was too shocking. One had to know that Lin Xian was using the great dragon sword spirit and invincible power. It's useless, kid. So what if you have the great dragon sword spirit? The gap between our cultivation is too big, so big that you can't make up for it. An extremely terrifying light burst out from his eyes, and then he pointed out with a finger. Lin Xian's body shattered into pieces. Then his eyes were shrouded in an extremely terrifying light. It enveloped Lin Xian's body. Damn it! Block it for me! Lin Xian roared and used the Rinnegan with all his strength. Immediately, the power of reincarnation flew out, forming 6 worlds that kept spinning to resist. With a boom, Lin Xian was sent flying again, spitting out blood. The quasi-emperor was also surprised. You have the Rinnegan too. It seems that I really can't bear to kill you. The 9 Yang Constitution, the Rinnegan, the great dragon sword, and the sky-devouring jar are all treasures. I will take your Rinnegan first, then take the great dragon sword and the sky-devouring jar. Who in the world can contend against me?" The Quasi-Emperor laughed out loud. He was very happy that he could obtain so many treasures as soon as he was resurrected. How could he not be happy? Lin Xian's face was cold. He was in great danger. The Quasi-Emperor's strength was too terrifying. At the moment, he couldn't resist at all. Even if he took out the sky-devouring jar again, he might not be his opponent. If he brought the other party into the sword world, he felt that the sword world might not be able to suppress the other party. Then, only the corpse of this Quasi-Emperor could be used by Lin Xian. Thinking of this, he gritted his teeth. In the distance, the spectators were also shocked when they saw the scene. Heavens, is that Lin Wuti? He was actually unable to fight back against the Quasi-Emperor. He's dead for sure. That's for sure. Unfortunately, he has so many treasures on him that we can't get them. You still want to snatch treasures from the Quasi-Emperor? Do you want to die? He can kill all of us with just one look. Countless people were terrified. In the crowd, Kuan Pingzi looked at this scene and sighed. The Fire Qilin sneered. Is he dead? That's good, I don't have to do it. Kid, leave behind any last words. The Quasi-Emperor in front said coldly. The light of reincarnation in Lin Xian's eyes suddenly erupted. He shouted angrily, "Senior, please forgive me." His soul suddenly rushed towards the Quasi-Emperor's corpse. At the same time, he waved his hand and brought Morong Qingqing and the others into the sword world, including his main body. In the next moment, everyone saw a shocking flash of light. Then, Lin Xian and the others disappeared. What's going on? Did that kid use a spatial ability to escape? Some people were surprised. However, there were also people who shook their heads. No matter what spatial ability he had, even the top genius of the Gu family, Gu Feng, could not escape. There was no escape here either. The power of a Quasi-Emperor was above everything else. The ninth firmament, Quasi-Emperor's face turned cold. He naturally knew that the other party was not escaping through the void. It was just that the aura of these people suddenly disappeared, which really surprised him. It seemed that this kid still had treasures that he did not know about. In the next moment, he frowned. He could feel that Lin Xian's soul had entered the body of the Quasi-Emperor magnetism in front of him. You want to use this Quasi-Emperor's corpse? Humph, you can't do it. He sneered and attacked the corpse of the Quasi-Emperor magnetism with his palm. Get out here. Lin Xian's soul entered the body of the Quasi-Emperor. He felt a wave of fear. There was too much power in the Quasi-Emperor's body. It made his scalp tingle. He shouted angrily and opened his Rinnegan. In the sky of the sword world, a Rinnegan eye appeared. Give me power. With a roar, the Rinnegan formed a world and absorbed the power of the sword world. Then it merged into Lin Xian's soul. Lin Xian's soul received the support of power, and his eyes shone brightly. In the next moment, he shouted angrily and rose. Chapter 5290. The corpse of the magnetite Quasi-Emperor stood up. Heaven and earth shook, and cracks appeared in the stone house. 9 firmaments, Quasi-Emperor was stunned. His palm stopped in midair. Her eyes widened in disbelief. You can actually control the corpse of a Quasi-Emperor. She was really shocked, but soon she snorted coldly. With your soul power, you can only make this corpse stand up. Watch me pull your soul out of you. He snorted coldly, and his palm rushed forward again. Everywhere it passed, heaven and earth collapsed. The sacred lords in the distance all retreated frantically. Oh no, what did they see? Lin Wuti and the others disappeared. Then the corpse of the other Quasi-Emperor stood up. These 2 Quasi-Emperors were going to fight, right? Then they couldn't resist at all and fled. After Lin Xian's soul obtained power, he controlled the corpse of the Quasi-Emperor through the Rinnegan. He didn't dare to be careless. Facing the other party's attack, Lin Xian also punched out. Boom! This punch was incomparably terrifying. It instantly pierced through heaven and earth. Lin Xian jumped in fright. Even his soul was shaken. He couldn't help it. He didn't understand the power of a quasi-emperor at all, so this punch was beyond his expectations. The power he used was too great. Heaven and earth shattered. Everyone was shocked. Even 9 firmaments, quasi-emperor was forced back. With a loud roar, the 9 heavens and 10 earths shattered. Kid, go to hell. He rushed over crazily. Lin Xian was also shocked. He stomped his foot and dodged to the side. However, in the next moment, he crashed into the void. He couldn't help it. He still couldn't perfectly control this corpse. So he was too fast. However, his body was like the strongest treasure body. It didn't suffer any damage at all. And the entire cave was torn apart by him. He came outside. Want to escape? You can't escape. How long can your soul last? And I'm the real resurrection. I'm the strongest. I want you dead. 9 firmaments, quasi-emperor shouted angrily. Then she also rushed over. 9 firmaments palm. With a palm strike, it was as if the 9 heavens had fallen. This power was really too terrifying. The celestial land was about to be pierced through. Lin Xian did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. Moreover, he could not display any boundary emperor magical ability. He could only rely on the physique of this body to fight against it. Therefore, in an instant, he was suppressed and was at a disadvantage. However, he had the physique of a quasi-emperor after all, so it was impossible for the other party to suppress him. Damn it! 9 firmaments gnashed his teeth in anger. Once again, he condensed the 9 heavens and charged over. Lin Xian was also furious. He used the devil god seal and formed a seal with his palms. There seemed to be a mysterious force behind it as it struck out with a palm. In an instant, it pierced through the 9 heavens. Quasi-Emperor Jiu Shao was also sent flying, his body swaying. He was infuriated. This was a great emperor's divine ability. It seemed like this Brett cultivated the great emperor's ancient scriptures. He wanted the other party to cooperate with Quasi-Emperor Jiu's corpse. That power was probably extremely strong. Damn it, impossible. How could his soul force be so powerful? Even if the other party had the Rinnegan and could control the corpse of a quasi-emperor, he could only use 3 moves at most. After all, the energy consumed by the corpse of a quasi-emperor was shocking. How could a small saint control it for so long? He did not know that Lin Xian was not only a small saint, but also had the sword world. And all these years he had collected a vast amount of power in the sword world. That was the power of dozens of worlds. How terrifying! Of course, this power was not infinite. Lin Xian knew that he could not use it for too long. If this continued, defeat was only a matter of time. He might not even be able to control the corpse of this quasi-emperor. What should he do? Lin Xian's eyes flickered. The Rinnegan began to spin nonstop. Escape? This quasi-emperor could indeed escape from the immortal land. But so what if he escaped? He still had no way to suppress the other party. In that case, he could only return to this cave. Since the ancient coffin was separated from the remnant soul from before, it meant that this person had been suppressed before. As for why he was suppressed, Lin Xian did not know. There should be a formation mechanism. Maybe he could activate the formation mechanism again and suppress the other party? Thinking of this, Lin Xian felt that it was an opportunity. Suddenly at this time he was stunned. He saw that the longevity lamp inside the stone door flew up. Lin Xian's heart stirred, and he grabbed the longevity lamp in his hand. The divine fire on it pulsed, pointing in a direction. Lin Xian rushed out in that direction. His speed was extremely fast. In an instant, he returned to the origin magnetic cave mansion. No matter where you run to, even to the ends of the earth or the universe, I will be able to find you. 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor sneered, his figure flashed, and he also rushed back. Inside the origin magnetic cave mansion, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, because they felt that the power of the 2 quasi-emperors had disappeared. However, The next moment, they knelt on the ground again in fear. The power of the two quasi-emperors appeared again, and it was getting closer and closer to them. They crawled on the ground, not daring to resist. Lin Xian controlled his speed very quickly, and it did not take long for him to arrive near the jade platform. Ninth Firmament Quasi-Emperor also came. He looked at this scene and sneered. What? Could it be that you're thinking of sealing me again? Just you? Haha, you don't have the ability. Well, let's end it here today. Ninth Firmament Quasi-Emperor's face became extremely cold. The illusion of the 9 heavens appeared on his body. Obviously, he did not intend to hold back again. Go to hell! Ninth Firmament shook the sky. A terrifying power was about to erupt. Lin Xian's face was cold. Suddenly, the divine fire on the longevity lamp in his hand pulsed, and it scattered in all directions. It pierced through the void. At the same time, 8 vortexes appeared. The next moment, a hazy figure appeared on the jade platform. This figure was even more terrifying. The moment it appeared, the 9 heavens and 10 lands bowed down. The sacred lords and princes were all terrified. The corpse that Lin Xian controlled also could not help but shake. No way. What is this? Could it be? He thought of a possibility. Ninth Firmament Quasi-Emperor originally wanted to use a peerless ability. However, when he saw the figure, he screamed in fright. Sakura! Impossible! How could you appear? He was crazy, really crazy. The corpse of Quasi-Emperor Yuan Ci knelt on the ground with one knee. At the same time, a voice sounded between heaven and earth. Quasi-Emperor Yuan Ci greets the Celestial Emperor. The Celestial Emperor, the sacred lords in the distance, were also shocked. Some people's pupils shrank, and they exclaimed. Could it be that this was the Celestial Emperor of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, Sakura? Heavens, this was a great emperor. Moreover, he was an extremely terrifying great emperor. Back then, it was he who wanted to make the entire Yuhua Immortal Dynasty ascend to immortality in one fell swoop. It was easy to imagine what kind of boldness and methods this person possessed. And now his doppelganger had actually appeared. Chapter 5291. The 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor turned around and fled. It was as if a mouse had met a cat. He was so powerful and arrogant before, but now he did not even have the courage to fight back. Lin Xian was stunned when he saw this scene. The next moment he became excited. There seemed to be hope. Standing on the jade platform, the phantom of the Sakura waved his hand. Suddenly, a scroll fell from the sky and swept in all directions. He stared at the 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor and sneered. Promethayu, how dare you behave so atrociously? Immortal Bestowment Platform, seal. The scroll glowed brightly. An entire jade platform shook violently as it swept out. The 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor was instantly enveloped. No, his expression was ferocious, and his eyes were red. He let out a miserable roar. I don't want to. He was really crazy. He had just broken the seal and regained his freedom. It had not even been a day, and he was going to be sealed again? He did not want to live in such darkness. He wanted to escape. An extremely terrifying light burst out from his body, and he attacked with all his strength. However, it was useless. The power of the Immortal Bestowment Platform was really too terrifying. The 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor was instantly sealed. His body landed on the ancient coffin above. With a boom, he entered the ancient coffin. However, during this process, a tiny ray of light flew out from the ancient coffin and disappeared. This process was very short, and it disappeared in the blink of an eye. The next moment, the ancient coffin closed and was sealed again. Buzz! The mysterious scroll disappeared, and the phantom of the Sakura also slowly disappeared. The Immortal Bestowment Platform regained its calm. Everything that happened before was like a dream. However, everyone realized that the 9th Firmament Quasi-Emperor had disappeared again. He had been sealed. in all directions. The divine fire returned to the longevity lamp and kept jumping. Lin Xian looked at this scene in shock. Was this the power of a great emperor? His methods were too terrifying. Although it was just a phantom, he could easily seal a quasi-emperor. Had such a terrifying expert really fallen? Lin Xian did not know. He felt that everything was a mystery. Perhaps he could only find out these secrets after entering the emperor realm. Lin Xian controlled the corpse of the magnetism quasi-emperor to stand up. He was also surprised when he heard a voice coming from the quasi-emperor's corpse. Could it be that this quasi-emperor was not completely dead? He carefully probed, but he couldn't sense any soul aura at all. No matter how he thought about it, the only explanation he could think of was instinct. In other words, the Sakra who appeared earlier was too terrifying, suppressing the myriad worlds by himself. This magnetism quasi-emperor was his subordinate and had fought alongside him for tens of thousands of years. Therefore, even though he was dead, his corpse still had to be saluted upon seeing him. Thinking of this, Lin Xian also sighed with emotion. The people in the distance were shocked. A quasi-emperor had been sealed. However, there was still another quasi-emperor around. They still didn't dare to be impudent. Lin Xian controlled the boundary emperor's corpse and turned around to walk over. Those people looked as if they were facing a great enemy. After seeing their senior, they kowtowed nonstop. Lin Xian nodded and said, "I'm going to give the longevity lamp to Lin Wudi. Do you have any objections?" "What?" Hearing this, the faces of the people in front changed, and the eyes of the sacred lords instantly turned red. The longevity lamp contained endless secrets. Previously, it was this lamp that summoned Sakra's phantom. How magical! Now, it was actually going to be given to Lin Wudi. For a moment, they couldn't believe it. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The quasi-emperor's corpse emitted an extremely terrifying power. What? Someone wanted to resist. Those people were so scared that their scalps went numb. If a quasi-emperor wanted to make a move, he could instantly kill all of them here. They hurriedly shook their heads, not daring to. "Humph, it's good that you know. If anyone dares to have any ideas about the longevity lamp, don't blame me for not letting them go." After saying that, the magnetism quasi-emperor's corpse swayed and instantly disappeared. In the next moment, he returned to the stone door. Then Lin Xian opened the sword world and released Morong Qingqing and the others. Then he kept the quasi-emperor's corpse. His soul and body fused together and he walked out. How was Brother Xian? Was the quasi-emperor chased away? They could no longer sense the other party's aura, so they were very puzzled. Lin Xian said, "That guy was unlucky," and was sealed again. Thus, he briefly recounted the events that had transpired earlier. The few of them were shocked when they heard that, especially when they heard that even the phantom of a great emperor had appeared. They were even more shocked. "Sakra!" Yan Ruyu also exclaimed, "I've heard that Sakra is the heavenly emperor of the Yuhua immortal dynasty. Even such a person had appeared. That guy deserved to be sealed." At this moment, countless people rushed over from afar. Lin Wudi appeared again. They were surprised. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked over. Murong Qingqing and the others were as if they were facing a great enemy. Lin Xian said, "It's fine, they don't dare to make a move." Sure enough, Lin Xian waved his hand and held the longevity lamp in his hand. He said, "Why, do you all want to make a move? Aren't you afraid that a quasi-emperor senior will make a move?" Damn it, these people gritted their teeth. This kid was too detestable. He was obviously angering them. However, they really didn't dare to make a move. Although they couldn't find the quasi-emperor senior now, everyone knew that the other party definitely existed, because the other party was the master of this cave abode and was also the subordinate of Sakra. It was impossible for him to be sealed. If he appeared again, it would be a disaster for them. Therefore, they could only shake their heads and smile. How could we dare to snatch this longevity lamp? Lin Gongzi misunderstood. He was actually still alive and had even obtained the longevity lamp. Kuin Pengzi was shocked and at the same time envious. The other party's opportunity was too good. On the other side, Qilin Zi gritted her teeth. Damn it, not only did he not die, but he also obtained a great opportunity. Damn it. Her expression became colder and colder. Actually, they didn't know that in addition to the longevity lamp, Lin Xian also obtained a corpse. In fact, Lin Xian could even control the corpse. If they knew, these people would probably go crazy with anger. Let's go. The trip to the immortal ground is almost over. It's time for us to go back. Lin Xian said. Murong Qingqing and the others also nodded. Indeed, even a quasi-emperor had appeared. Who knew what else would happen? Moreover, Lin Xian had obtained the longevity lamp and was being watched by countless people. It would be dangerous if he took action. Therefore, the group of people discussed and prepared to go back. This time, everyone had obtained a lot of opportunities on the trip to the immortal ground. Firstly, their souls had all improved rapidly, far surpassing before. Secondly, they had also obtained some heavenly treasures. Each of them would make the sacred clans jealous. Therefore, Lin Xian and the others prepared to go back. At the same time, the Immortal Foundation Hall masters outside also opened the Ascension Gate. They rushed into search for the aura of the Quasi-Emperor. Chapter 5292. Where was the Quasi-Emperor? These palace lords rushed in and started searching. Very soon, they discovered the others. These people were shocked. They didn't expect that even the palace lords would come here personally. After greeting the palace lords, some Immortal Foundation geniuses gathered. The palace lords asked, "How is it?" "We sense the aura of a quasi-emperor outside." "Did a quasi-emperor appear?" The Immortal Foundation geniuses had strange expressions on their faces. They replied, reporting to the palace lords, "A quasi-emperor did appear." The palace lords were overjoyed. "This is great. Quickly bring us over to take a look." "Which quasi-emperor is it exactly? Is it our old ancestor?" These Immortal Foundation geniuses were all from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty and belonged to different powers. If it was their old ancestor, then their Immortal Foundation geniuses would soar. Upon hearing this, the Immortal Foundation geniuses had strange expressions on their faces. They hesitated for a moment before asking, "I'm afraid we won't be able to meet him." Those palace lords were puzzled, but they soon understood. That's right. What status did a quasi-emperor senior have? He wasn't someone they could meet whenever they wanted to. "Can you tell us where he is? We can go and beg him ourselves." However, the Immortal Foundation geniuses shook their heads. "No, palace lords, you have misunderstood. The quasi-emperor was sealed." "What?" These palace lords were all stunned. They didn't dare to believe their ears. "What did you say? The quasi-emperor was sealed? What joke was this?" A palace lord jumped up and shouted coldly, "What nonsense are you guys talking about? Could it be that you guys don't know the strength of a quasi-emperor? We naturally know, but the one who sealed the quasi-emperor was the Heaven Empyrean." The Heaven Empyrean. These palace lords started and drew in a breath of cold air. This name was still a little vague to them. But when they thought of the founder of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, they were all stunned. Wasn't the founder of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty the Heaven Empyrean? Even that old man appeared. What was going on exactly? Quickly tell me clearly. Very soon, these hall masters heard what had happened, and they were all stunned on the spot. The magnetism quasi-emperor, the nine-firmament quasi-emperor, and the Heaven Empyrean. The quasi-emperor who was sealed was the nine-firmament quasi-emperor. They truly didn't know him. He shouldn't be someone from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. As for the magnetism quasi-emperor, some of them had heard of him. For example, the people from the magnetism Immortal Dynasty. Where was he? The quasi-emperor's old ancestor. Such a character. If they could invite him back, how could the other Immortal Foundation experts be a match for them? However, When they found out that the magnetism quasi-emperor had also disappeared, they were all stunned. However, they received another message. What did you say? The magnetism quasi-emperor had given the longevity lamp to Lin Wuti? Damn it! That's something that belongs to our Immortal Foundation. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal platform gnashed their teeth in anger. Where did Lin Wuti find him? Take back the longevity lamp that belongs to us. Why should we give him what belongs to our old ancestor? These people began to search one after another. The other Immortal Foundation experts also hurriedly returned. Something shocking had happened here, and they had to spread the news so that they could think of a solution together. At the very least, they had to figure out who this quasi-emperor Ninth Firmament was. Why was he in the celestial land? In an instant, everyone returned. When they came out, the news spread. News of the battle between the two boundary emperors, as well as the appearance of the heavenly sovereign and Socrateon, had spread far and wide. Everyone in Yuhua City was dumbfounded when they heard this. Those Immortal Foundation experts were all going crazy. He really didn't expect such a change to occur. One had to know that these were their old ancestors' legendary figures. And in this matter, there was actually a figure of a young man. Naturally, it was Lin Wuti. Damn it, it's this guy again. He actually obtained the legendary longevity lamp. This was an extremely mysterious item of the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. It must not be obtained by him. In an instant, everyone began to look for Lin Wuti. In the celestial land, everyone left one after another. But among them, there was still a figure who remained in the cave. It was Yao Guang. At this moment, his face was abnormally pale because there was something in his mind that was threatening him. Yao Guang's expression was cold as he resisted with all his might. His soul seemed to have turned into a vortex. Damn it, who the hell are you? Who am I? Little guy, you opened my ancient coffin and you don't know who I am? What? It's you. Yao Guang's expression became incomparably ugly. Impossible, he roared crazily. He was really stunned. Previously, he had indeed opened the ancient coffin and found the corpse of a boundary emperor. But before he could swallow it, the corpse of the boundary emperor came back to life. He was blasted out and was seriously injured. When he recovered and was about to return, he saw a shocking scene. The heavenly emperor, Sakra, had easily sealed the 9 firmament boundary emperor. But now, the remnant soul of the 9 firmament boundary emperor had actually run out. And it even came to find him. Senior, why are you looking for me? If you want to find someone, you should find someone from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty to take revenge. I am not from the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Little guy, you can open my ancient coffin, which proves that your origin is extraordinary. If I can obtain your body, then even if I am sealed, I can live in another form. Speaking of this, he wanted to seize Yao Guang's soul. Yao Guang's soul executed the heaven-devouring demonic skill with all its might. You actually cultivated such a forbidden cultivation technique. The 9 firmament boundary emperor was shocked. His soul erupted with an extremely terrifying light enveloping Yao Guang. Yao Guang's body swayed, and he kept vomiting blood. But at this time, the pressure in the sky disappeared. The 9 firmament boundary emperor said, I didn't expect you to be from the Purple Mansion. In that case, I will spare your life first. But I have to stay in your mind. You don't have any objections, right? Yao Guang's expression was ugly. She was also shocked. You didn't kill me because I am from the Purple Mansion. Could it be that you were also from the Purple Mansion back then? He was really too shocked. The 9 firmament boundary emperor's mouth raised a trace of disdain. Purple Mansion? He sneered. I am from the other side. The other side. Yao Guang was very unfamiliar with this name. He shook his head. The 9 firmament boundary emperor said that when you enter the emperor realm, at least become a boundary emperor, you will have the qualifications to know this name. Next, you have to help me recover my soul. Don't worry, I will give you benefits. I will let you grow quickly, and even let you control the Purple Mansion is not impossible. Hearing this, Yao Guang's pupils shrank. How terrifying was the Purple Mansion! All his cultivation techniques were from the Purple Mansion. Even the heaven-devouring demonic skill was given to him by the Purple Mansion. Now, the other party actually said such words. How could he not be shocked? Although the Purple Mansion is mysterious, I don't put it in my eyes. Moreover, you know too little about the secrets of the Purple Mansion. As long as you cooperate with me obediently, one day I will let you control the Purple Mansion. I will even let you advance a step further and enter the other side. I don't understand what you are saying. Let me ask you one question. Can you increase my strength? Yao Guang asked. The 9 Firmament Boundary Emperor said, Yes, I can even let you enter the Boundary Emperor realm. Very good, then cooperate. Yao Guang's eyes erupted with an extremely terrifying light. Chapter 52-93. On the other side, Lin Xian also returned. However, they were taken away by the people from the Nebula Immortal platform. Your Highness, don't worry. We don't have any bad intentions. The people from the Starfall Immortal platform said. Madam, Purple Star frowned. Lin Gongzi was invited by the 9 Stars platform. What do you want? The people from the Starfall Immortal platform said. We weren't worried before, but Quasi-Emperor, after the news of the Longevity Ascension came out, can the 9 Stars Immortal platform remain calm? I can't be sure. Madam, Purple Star's expression changed. What do you mean? Lin Gongzi, we definitely don't mean to harm you. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes as he looked at Madam Headmaster Zixing. We went through life and death together. I naturally believe you. However, the longevity lamp is too mysterious. Can you guarantee that no one will covet it? Madam, Purple Star fell silent. She was just a young genius. She couldn't make the decision on the 9 Stars platform. However, she soon looked at the Starfall Immortal platform. Can you guarantee that no one will covet the longevity lamp? Yes. The Starfall Immortal platform's palace master personally walked over and greeted His Highness. I represent the Starfall Immortal platform and fully support Your Highness. Let's see who dares to resist. Madam Purple Star was stunned. She didn't expect the Nebula Immortal platform to be completely on Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He said, All right, as long as you don't let me down. I will definitely let you regain your glory in the future. Your Highness, you are too polite. You can ascend to the 4th palace. You can even summon the phantom of our ancestor. We naturally have to respect you. All right, then I won't be polite. What's the situation now? Lin Xian asked. While he was asking, the other immortal platforms quickly gathered. Someone said, Have you heard? Lin Wudi obtained the longevity lamp. Damn it, he's an outsider. What right does he have to obtain it? That's right. This belongs to the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty. Only our immortal platforms have the right to obtain it. Find him and take back the longevity lamp. If he obediently hands it over, then forget it. If he doesn't, I don't care if he's a young supreme. In our Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, even dragons have to bow down to us. The eyes of those at the 9 Star Immortal Foundation also flickered when they heard the news. Princess 9 Star asked, Where was Lin Gongzi? Ask them to come back. As for whether or not he would attack when he returned, he did not say. However, there was a trace of coldness in his eyes. For a moment, undercurrents were surging. On this day, an expert came early. A few silhouettes descended, each with a 9 Star Immortal Foundation. A terrifying aura came crashing down like 100,000 mountains. The 9 Star Immortal Foundation trembled as the formation flashed. Guards rushed out from below. Who was it? He actually dared to behave atrociously here. Hurry up and scram, or I'll let you. He died without a burial place. These people roared. When the newcomers heard this, they snorted coldly. Threatening us? I think you guys don't want to live anymore. Tell your Immortal Foundation Hall Master to come out. We have something to see him about. Who do you think you are? How dare you ask our palace master to come out? You! Are you even worthy? The guards sneered. However, they soon couldn't laugh anymore. One of the people in front of him threw out a punch. A punch was thrown out. The bodies of the 5 bodyguards were instantly penetrated and torn to pieces. At the same time, he threw his head back and roared, 9-star Hall Master, come out for me. His voice was like 10,000 claps of thunder ringing out in the air. The people at the 9-star Immortal Foundation were all stunned when they heard this. They raised their heads and stared at the sky. Heavens! Who dared to behave atrociously here? And they wanted to see their palace master directly? Who was it? Courting death. How could the sacred ground of the Immortal Foundation allow you to behave atrociously? A beam of sword light arced through the air, as fast as a shooting star. However, the person in front slapped out with a palm, containing the power to split the heavens and earth. The sword light was shattered. The 9-star Immortal Foundation expert coughed out blood and was sent flying. His face was filled with terror. The others also exclaimed. This was the aura of primal chaos. It was someone from the primal chaos race. Don't act first. They stopped him. An elder walked out and clasped his fists. Are you a fellow Taoist from the primal chaos race? The person in front stood with his hands behind his back. He spoke. Seems like you have some knowledge. We are indeed from the primal chaos race. It was really them, but soon they were enraged. The primal chaos race is powerful, but we, the 9-star Immortal Foundation, are not to be trifled with. That's right, when did we offend you? Why did you come and destroy our mountain gate? Are you not putting us in your eyes at all? These people were extremely angry. The expert from the primal chaos snorted coldly. No enmity. What a joke. Was Lin Wudi invited by you guys? Where is he? Tell him to come out and accept his death. At this point, a terrifying killing intent radiated from them. The expressions of the people at the main Immortal Foundation changed. The other party was actually here to look for Lin Wudi. Damn it, Lin Wudi was indeed invited by them. It was just that he only had these connections. The other party came knocking on their door because of this. They were so angry that they almost vomited blood. As expected, the 3rd elder of the 9-star Immortal Foundation said, So you guys are here to look for Lin Wudi. Our relationship with Lin Wudi isn't that deep. Moreover, after Lin Wudi returned, he didn't come to our 9-star Immortal Foundation. According to the information we received, he went to the Nebula Immortal Foundation. If you guys want to look for him, go to the Starfall Immortal Foundation. The expert from the Primal Chaos sneered. Do you think we are 3-year-old children? If the Nebula Immortal Foundation snatched your man, you guys will ignore it. According to the information we received, Lin Wudi was invited by you. He must be here. Hand him over obediently. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Even if he really isn't here, you guys have to be responsible for finding him. 3 days' time. If I don't see Lin Wudi after 3 days, don't blame us for killing you. The people from the 9-star Immortal Foundation went crazy after hearing this. Damn it, these guys were actually so arrogant. Were they not putting them in their eyes? What's there to be arrogant about? It's just a few people and they dare to behave atrociously in our territory. Let's attack together and kill them. Yes, that's right. Killing them would be as easy as flipping one's hand. Many people soared into the sky. They carried extremely terrifying laws on their bodies. However, the 3rd elder shook his head. Don't act rashly. The primal chaos race was able to split heaven and earth. They had a mysterious power. And among the primal chaos race, there was a double-crowned king. His future was limitless. More importantly, it was said that the primal chaos race had a quasi-emperor. In the era when the great emperors didn't appear, a quasi-emperor could sweep the world. Who could be a match for such a family? Therefore, if they really fought, the 9-star Immortal Foundation would very likely suffer heavy losses. If they really provoked a quasi-emperor, they would definitely die. The third elder's face was filled with smiles. It's a misunderstanding. There is no hatred between us. Don't let our two factions become enemies just because of Lin Wuti. Everyone, please. They respectfully invited the members of the Handan clan into the palace. Men, give me a good reception, the third elder said loudly. At the same time, he waved his hand and summoned 2 more elders. Bring people to the Starfall Immortal Foundation and bring Lin Wuti back. Chapter 5294. The 2 elders brought their men to the Fallen Star Immortal Plateau. What are you 2 doing here? The elder of the Fallen Star Immortal Plateau laughed. The elder of the 9th Star Immortal Plateau said, Cut the crap. We are here to pick up Lin Gongzi. What Lin Gongzi? Are you talking about His Highness? You came at the wrong time. Lin Gongzi has something to do. As for when he will be back, we don't know. Why don't you come back a year later? A year? The elder of the 9th Star Immortal Plateau was furious. Do you think we are idiots? Do you think we are idiots? The face of the Fallen Star Immortal Plateau's expert also darkened. Do you think we don't know that the Handan tribe is coming? The elder of the 9th Star Immortal Plateau's face changed. The Handan tribe has a boundary emperor. They are extremely powerful. Now that they want Lin Wuti, if you still insist on protecting him, we will not let you off. Then don't blame us for being impolite. We will report the situation truthfully. When the time comes, the Handan tribe will point their swords at you. Let's see if your Nebula Immortal Plateau can withstand it. At this point, they sneered and turned to leave. The face of the Nebula Immortal Plateau's expert turned solemn. They did not expect the experts of the Handan tribe to come. These people had the power to split heaven and earth. They even had a boundary emperor behind them. They did not even care about the monarch tribe, let alone the immortal platforms. This matter caused countless elders to worry. Even the Falling Star Hall's hall master sucked in a breath of cold air. He personally went to find Lin Xian and explained the situation to him. Could it be that they are here for the longevity lamp? Lin Xian shook his head and sneered. They are here for revenge. I defeated Han Tian in the Immortal Land. I guess Han Tian can't take this lying down, so he found someone to take revenge. He is really a piece of trash. He did not have the courage to find me. What a piece of trash. He is not worthy of being the Double Crown champion. Hearing this, the surrounding experts and elders sucked in a breath of cold air. Trash? No one would believe him if he said it out loud. However, if what Lin Wuti said was true, then it was understandable. Because Lin Wuti had defeated Han Tian, he was qualified to say such words. In the next moment, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The Handan clan is coming at us aggressively. What do you plan to do? Are you going to hand me over? The Nebula Palace master shook his head. We don't dare. We have already said that we will stand on His Highness' side. Please rest assured, Your Highness. Since it's a matter between you and Han Tian, then it's a matter between young people. Young people's problems naturally had to be solved using young people's methods. Why don't we hold a martial arts conference for the younger generation and gather these geniuses together again? Your Highness, you can also solve this problem. As for those experts, I don't think they have the face to make a move in front of young people. All right, let's do that then. Lin Xian nodded. He also knew that it was impossible for his immortal foundation to start a war with the primal chaos race. After all, the Handan tribe had quasi-emperors, which was very dangerous. Lin Xian's expression was solemn. He didn't expect that he would be targeted by the Handan clan again. How despicable. At the same time, he also knew that because of the longevity lamp, the other immortal foundation experts would definitely target him. Lin Xian laughed coldly. Bring it on then. So what if I have to make the entire world my enemy? Soon, the news spread that the Nebula Immortal Platform was going to hold a martial arts conference for the younger generation again. The moment the news came out, countless people were shocked. Who would be in the mood to participate in this? But when they found out that the first person invited by the Nebula Immortal platform was Hun Tian, they were shocked. Many people were shocked. Everyone said that Lin Wuti was at the Nebula Immortal platform. Now that the experts of the Hunden clan were coming, the other party invited Hun Tian. Interesting. It seemed that the Nebula Immortal platform wanted to help Lin Wuti resolve this crisis. Let's go and take a look. They were interested. Hun Tian, the double champion, had a strong reputation, and Lin Wuti was a new force to be reckoned with, not to mention that he had obtained a mysterious treasure in the immortal land. Everyone naturally wanted to go and take a look. So in an instant, countless people gathered. Gu Feng's face was gloomy. He also went. On the other side, Wu Dao also went. Long Wu of the Thousand Dragons Court also arrived with the experts of the Dragon Clan. At the same time, a figure walked out of the immortal land. This figure looked a little pale, and he was dressed in cotton clothes. The aura on his body was incomparably mysterious. He was Yao Guang. At this moment, not only did he come out, but he also brought out the remnant soul of the Nine Heavens Quasi-Emperor. After knowing about Lin Wuti and Hun Tian, he sneered and walked out. Lin Wuti and Hun Tian, these two people, he would not let them off. Sooner or later, he would devour both of them. Although it was a gathering for the younger generation, there were also many experts of the older generation who were prepared to go and watch. They were really curious about the longevity lamp. Among them, there was a figure in a black robe. He was very strange, like a ghost. He looked at the Nebula Immortal platform in the distance and smiled. Longevity lamp, kid, you are really lucky. Long time no see. I didn't expect you to have obtained the longevity lamp. Thinking of this, his body swayed and walked into the distance. In an instant, the wind and clouds gathered on the Nebula Immortal platform. The Nebula Immortal platform naturally opened its doors to receive guests, whether it was young geniuses or experts of the older generation. As long as they came, they would be invited in. And in the core of the immortal platform, Lin Xian sat there cross-legged. He entered the sword world, and he knew that there would be countless experts coming this time. So he had to prepare in advance. In the sword world, there was an intact corpse. It was the corpse of the magnetic Quasi-Land. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "Senior, this time I am in danger again. Maybe I will use your corpse again. If I don't forgive you, when I become the great emperor, I will find a good place to bury you." Lin Xian bowed respectfully to the corpse of the magnetic Quasi-Land. The Hellfire Dragon flew over and said, "Kid, are you really going to use it? The burden on your soul is very big. Even if you have the Rinnegan, you have to use it carefully. What I know is that once the Rinnegan is overused, there will be terrible consequences. There is even a possibility that your eyes will be destroyed. I know, I will be careful." Lin Xian took a deep breath. He would not always rely on the power of the Quasi-Emperor corpse, but this time he was really anxious. So many people wanted to kill him, and even the experts of the older generation had come. He had to use the Quasi-Emperor corpse. He had to make a show of strength. He wanted to let everyone know that he, Lin Xian, was not someone to be trifled with. With the power of his Rinnegan, he could only use the Quasi-Emperor corpse once more. But this time he had to set off a storm. Thinking of this, Lin Xian stood up, his eyes shining with a cold light. "I want to see who dares to be my enemy this time." Chapter 5295. There were already many people outside. They were all looking for Lin Xian. However, it seemed that Lin Xian hadn't arrived yet. At this moment, a mysterious man in a black robe floated into the distance. "Who are you? The core area is in front. You can't enter." A guard stopped him. The mysterious man in the black robe said, "I'm here to look for Lin Xian." "Why are you looking for His Highness?" These guards were extremely nervous. The man in the black robe smiled and said, "Tell him." I said, "He's Master He. I'm here to look for him." The guards were puzzled. This is His Highness's master? They were stunned. He Shan stood with his hands behind his back. Hurry up and inform him. If you tell him, he'll definitely come to see me. All right, just you wait. One of the guards flew towards the core area. He found Lin Xian. Your Highness, someone is looking for you outside. Oh, who is it? Lin Xian asked. The guard said he's your master, He. Lin Xian was stunned when he heard that. Who is Master He? He's so reckless. What does he look like? The guard said he's wearing a black robe. His aura is cold. He doesn't look like a good person. It's him. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Let him in. Lin Xian had already guessed who it was. Soon, He Shan came in. Kid, how have you been? Let Master He take a good look at you. Lin Xian's face turned black. Damn you. It's really you, old man. Lin Xian realized that it was indeed He Shan. He Shan flew over and said with a smile, I heard you got the longevity lamp. Take it out and let me see. I thought you felt that I was in danger and came to help me. You actually came to see the longevity lamp. Lin Xian gritted his teeth, but he still took it out. He knew He Shan's temper. A longevity lamp jumped gently, releasing a mysterious aura. He Shan looked at him nonstop. Then he exclaimed, It's amazing. No wonder so many people want it. You know him? Lin Xian was also puzzled. Black Mountain spoke. He had heard that the Heavenly Court and the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty had some connections. When I was in the Heavenly Court, I read about the longevity lamp. This thing seems to be related to the Emperor realm, so you must protect it well. Lin Xian was also shocked that it was related to the Great Emperor. No wonder he couldn't figure out what it was, even after studying it for so long. It seemed like his cultivation level wasn't high enough. While the two of them were chatting, more and more experts were arriving outside. Kuanping Zi also came. People from the Purple Mansion also came, and Xinjingqiu was among them. At this moment, an earth-shattering power appeared between heaven and earth, shattering the void. Countless large cracks appeared. Countless people cried out in alarm. The people of the Primal Chaos clan had arrived. Sure enough, the aura of chaos gathered between heaven and earth, and the people of the Handan clan appeared. The leader was Han Tian. After Han Tian descended, he said, Lin Wudi. Did he not dare to come out? Get over here and accept your death. An angry roar shook the surroundings. Countless people were shocked. These people were indeed here for Lin Wudi. The elder of the Star Cloud Immortal Palace walked out and said, Everyone, please calm down. Our Highness will come out soon. Everyone, please take a seat first. Another man from the Handan clan walked out. This middle-aged man's aura was incomparably terrifying. He snorted coldly. I'll give you 3 seconds to get Lin Wudi out. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. When these words came out, the people of the Starfall Immortal platform were enraged. Their faces darkened. You have to understand that this is the Starfall Immortal platform, not a place where anyone can behave atrociously. Was the Starfall Immortal platform very powerful? If you dare to stop us, we'll just kill you. The middle-aged man from the Handan clan was incomparably domineering. Terrifying killing intent erupted from his body and swept out in all directions. The faces of the elders changed. Even the Starfall Immortal Palace master walked out and shouted angrily, Stop! Stop! Be obedient, and there's still room for negotiation. Otherwise, today will be the day of your Starfall Immortal Palace's destruction. They were incomparably domineering. The others were also in an uproar. One must know that this was the Yuhua Immortal Dynasty, but the Handan clan didn't care at all. They wanted to see the reactions of the other immortal platforms. At this time, someone from the Magnetism Immortal platform walked out and sneered. I advise you to ask Lin Wudi to hand it over. Otherwise, your Starfall Immortal platform will end up in a miserable state. That's right. Starfall Immortal platform, I'll give you some advice. Don't go against the Handan clan. You can't fight against them. Also, the longevity lamp in Lin Wudi's hand belongs to the magnetism quasi-emperor. He's our ancestor. The longevity lamp can only belong to us. Ask him to hand it over. Otherwise, we won't let you off. There were also experts from the Thousand Dragons Imperial Court who sneered. Lin Wudi will definitely die today. We have to avenge our prince. Hearing these voices, the scalps of the surrounding people went numb. It's over. Every one of these people was an earth-shattering expert. Now that they attacked together, Lin Wudi was probably in danger. Last time, Lin Wudi was in danger of being killed. However, a quasi-emperor appeared behind Lin Wudi. He stopped the battle. From then on, no one dared to touch him. However, it was different now. The Handan clan also had a quasi-emperor who could fight against the expert behind Lin Xian. Therefore, this time, no one could help the other party. Lin Wudi was definitely going to die. Thinking of this, some people sneered. This Lin Wudi is not simple. He has the 9-yang divine body and inheritance of a great emperor. I don't think he deserves these treasures. Kill him and we'll split the treasures. His voice was erratic. However, the eyes of many turned red. That was indeed the case. Lin Xian had too many treasures on him. If they could get one of them, they would be able to achieve meteoric success. Ants like you dare to have designs on me? I think you're tired of living. At this time, a cold voice sounded. Everyone's scalps went numb. The next moment, they saw someone walk out. They turned around and exclaimed, "It's Lin Wudi." What? He actually dared to come out. Shouldn't he be hiding in fear now? He's an idiot. He'll definitely die if he comes out. Lin Xian strode over, followed by Murong Qingqing and the others. There was also a black-robed man, Black Mountain. After the group of people arrived, Lin Xian looked disdainfully in all directions. Who was the one who said that he wanted my 9-yang divine body and inheritance of a great emperor? Step forward. I'll give him a chance. His gaze swept across all directions. However, the surroundings were silent. No one dared to step forward. After all, Lin Wudi's reputation was built on his strength. Lin Xian sneered. I said that you're trash, but you don't believe me. You don't even have the courage to come out and fight me. You're a bunch of trash. What did you say? Is someone angry? Lin Xian sneered. I said that you're all trash. Are you unhappy? If you're unhappy, come over and fight. Whoever wants the treasures will have to live to take them. Lin Xian was also angry. In the shocking battle, Lord Alcohol appeared and intimidated the world. No one dared to deal with him. He didn't expect that these people would gather together again. Why do they have a death wish? Chapter 5296. Kid, you're too arrogant. Do you really think you're invincible? A middle-aged man from the Handan race snorted. He slapped out with his palm. The terrifying palm blotted out the sky as it charged toward Lin Xian. How terrifying! Countless people exclaimed. They didn't expect that it wasn't Han Tian who attacked. It was someone else. Lin Xian's face darkened. However, he didn't attack or retreat. The elder from the Nebula Immortal platform snorted and punched out. This punch was like a meteor emitting a bright light. It blocked the Handan palm. At the same time, the elder roared, "You dare to attack our highness?" The people from the Handan race had a cold expression. At this moment, the person from the 9-star Immortal platform walked out and said, "Nebula Immortal platform, on account of the descendant of the Yuhua Immortal dynasty, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't bother about this matter anymore." The 9-star Immortal platform restrained the Starfall Immortal platform. The middle-aged man from the Handan race sneered. "Let's see who can save you this time." He attacked again, bringing with him a terrifying power. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. It seemed like the Handan race came prepared. Such a terrifying attack. The young man couldn't block it. No matter how strong Lin Wudi was, he wouldn't be able to block it. Lin Xian's expression was cold. The Handan race was really courting death. he still didn't attack. Behind He Shan, a burly man attacked. The axe in his hand slashed down, tearing the clouds apart. He blocked the Handan palm again. He blocked it again. Countless people exclaimed. They didn't realize that they didn't know the person who attacked this time. The middle-aged man from the Handan race frowned. He stared at the other party and asked coldly, "Who are you? How dare you interfere in the matters of the Handan race? Do you want your race to be annihilated? Is the Handan race that powerful?" The burly man snorted. He Shan also walked out and sneered. "You're a saint lord. How dare you attack a young man? Is your face a dog's body? You're courting death." The middle-aged man from the Handan race roared. A terrifying killing intent swept towards He Shan. He Shan snorted. A terrifying aura also surged from his body. "Why? Are you angry? You want to kill me? Unfortunately, you can't kill me. Let me ask you, is the Primal Chaos clan as shameless as He Shan?" He was actually despicable enough to attack a young man. The people of the Handan clan shouted coldly, "What we do has nothing to do with you." Scram! Black Mountain laughed. "Others might be afraid of you, but our heavenly court is not afraid of your Primal Chaos race." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were also surprised. The people of the heavenly court were truly shocked. Unexpectedly, Black Mountain was actually from the heavenly court. Even the Handan race's expression changed. Naturally, they had heard of the heaven court before, but soon the middle-aged man laughed. "What can a mere heavenly court do to me? You were all wiped out tens of thousands of years ago. Even if there are still people alive now, they are all stray dogs. You should worry about how to survive. If you dare to meddle in the affairs of the Primal Chaos tribe again, I will send you to hell immediately." He Shan snorted coldly. "Was that so? Do you like to bully young people so much? All right, I'll bully the young people today as well. He must be the double-crowned king, Han Tian. Today, I will kill him as the divine ancestor. I'll let you have a taste of what it's like to be suppressed." "Damn it, how dare you!" That middle-aged man roared in anger. The other experts of the Primal Chaos tribe were also on guard. They quickly protected Han Tian. Han Tian's face was cold. When He Shan saw this, he laughed out loud. "Why? Are you guys very angry? Are you worried? You guys should know that this doesn't feel good, right? Then why did you guys use the divine ancestor to kill Lin Xian? Since you guys don't abide by the rules, then come and hurt each other. Anyway, our heavenly court doesn't have many people. After killing your double-crowned king, we will find a world to go into seclusion for 500 years. I reckon you guys won't be able to find us in this lifetime. But it's different for the Primal Chaos tribe. If you guys dare to make a move on Lin Xian, you will be offending a boundary emperor. Even if the Primal Chaos tribe is too strong, can you guys escape? Your family is right there. When the boundary emperor comes looking for you, even if you don't die, you will suffer a great loss." The moment these words came out, the others were in an uproar. That was indeed the case. The faces of the Primal Chaos tribe turned extremely ugly. "You dare to threaten us?" Black Mountain sneered. "Yes, I am. What can you do to me? Bite me?" The Primal Chaos tribe was so angry that they vomited blood. The others didn't dare to say anything. For a moment, the atmosphere was extremely strange. Lin Xian's lips curled up. He stood with his hands behind his back and watched quietly. At this moment, someone spoke again. It was the people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal platform. They said, "We don't care about the grudges between you guys. We only want one thing, the longevity lamp. That belongs to our ancestors. Only the Origin Magnetic Immortal platform deserves to have it. Hurry up and hand it over." "That's right. It's someone else's treasure. Give it back." The people from Wan Chow Chow snorted. The people from the Purple Mansion also said, "Lin Wudi, hand over the treasure. It doesn't belong to you." The moment these words came out, the faces of the people from the Starry Sky Immortal platform changed again. They didn't expect trouble to come after solving a crisis. Lin Xian laughed. It doesn't belong to me? What a joke. Back then, there were many people in the Origin Magnetic Immortal Cave. Are you guys blind? Or did water enter your brain? Back then, the Origin Magnetic Quasi-Emperor personally said that he would give it to me. In this world, there's no one more suitable than me to get it. What a joke! Who can prove it? The Palace Lord of the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform walked out and shouted coldly. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty sneered. Who are you trying to fool? Why should the Quasi-Emperor give it to you? The people from the Purple Mansion also said, Stop dreaming. Hurry up and hand it over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Who can prove it? He pointed in all directions. They can prove it. Kuan Pingzi can prove it. The Fire Qilin can prove it. All the top geniuses from the Immortal Platform can prove it. Because they are all here. You are talking nonsense. We don't know. The genius from the Greenwood Immortal Platform snorted. The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty also laughed. How can we not know? Lin Xian said. Is that so? Then, do you dare to swear on your martial heart? The moment these words came out, no one dared to speak. This oath wasn't something that could be casually said. One must know that at their level of cultivation, there were some things that they had to respect. For example, swearing on their martial heart. If they lied, they might be struck by lightning. Even if they weren't struck by lightning, they would have a heart demon in the future. It would be difficult to progress further on the martial path. Hence, no one dared to speak. Lin Xian sneered. Why don't you dare? Didn't you swear that you didn't see it? This means that you guys are guilty. The surrounding people were slapped in the face, but they couldn't refute. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He stared at the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform. Did you see it? They can all prove it. As for you guys, you keep saying that you are the descendants of the Origin Magnetic Quasi-Emperor. But you guys don't respect your ancestor at all. You even want to go against the orders of your ancestor. Do you guys not recognize this ancestor? Chapter 5297. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform were stunned. They couldn't answer, because if they didn't admit it and continued to oppose Lin Xian, it meant that they didn't recognize their ancestor. But if they recognized their ancestor, it would be the opposite of what they said before. It would be a slap to their faces. For a moment, they were so angry that their bodies trembled. Lin Xian sneered. You're still embarrassing yourself here. Get lost. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform gritted their teeth. Damn brat, don't be too arrogant. That's right. You have the protection of the Heavenly Court. Otherwise, would you dare to be so arrogant here? Lin Xian laughed. Do I need to rely on others to be arrogant? Humph. I'll give you a chance to fight one-on-one. Make your move. Fine, that's what you said. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform snorted. They looked at one of the figures. Fairy, please make your move. A woman in colorful clothes walked out. She was beautiful and had a cold aura. Her appearance attracted the attention of countless people. Who was this person? Oh heavens! Could she be the legendary Yulinglong? She had the 9 stars body. What? The 9 stars body also appeared? This was also a super strong body in the universe. The 9 stars body had the heart of 7 orifices. Such a physique possessed a powerful recovery ability and vitality. Moreover, the heart of 7 orifices allowed one's comprehension of the Tao to surpass others. Hence, the 9 stars body was an extremely terrifying body. Hearing this, the surrounding people were shocked. They didn't expect another super strong body to appear. Yulinglong also walked out. She looked at Lin Xian and said, You must be Lin Wudi. Do you dare to fight with me? The wager is the longevity lamp. If you lose, you have to obediently hand over the longevity lamp. How about it? Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. What if you lose? If I lose, you can do whatever you want of me. How about that? That's fair, right? Yu Linglong said. Her eyes were filled with confidence because she felt that she wouldn't lose. She was extremely confident in the 9 stars body. Lin Xian nodded. All right, let's do it. How do you want to fight? Yu Linglong said. Of course, I can't rely on weapons. You have an extreme weapon, and if you use it, I really can't defeat you. Lin Xian said. Don't worry, I definitely won't use an extreme grade weapon. Now you can relax. That's good. Yu Linglong smiled. Without her extreme grade weapon, she didn't fear her opponent. She said, Then I'll have a taste of your 9-yang divine body. Is it comparable to my exquisite body? At this point, a multicolored light soared from her body, turning into countless laws and chains that danced in the sky. She was like a god, standing tall in the void. The surrounding people were shocked and cried out in alarm. This was the exquisite body. It's too mysterious. I think Lin Wuti has met a strong enemy this time. Lin Xian coldly snorted, an extremely terrifying light erupting from his eyes. It formed a monstrous rune, which then turned into a blade of reincarnation that slashed forward. At this moment, an eye appeared between heaven and earth, causing everyone to feel fear. What kind of eyes were those? They all went crazy. Even Yu Linglong's pupils constricted. Her expression changed. The next moment, she roared angrily, and the exquisite body's laws soared into the sky to resist. However, the blade of reincarnation slashed down, splitting her in half. The godlike body fell down, blood staining the sky red, and the laws shattered. The surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. Many people were so scared that they knelt on the ground. How was this possible? That was the exquisite body, and it was killed in one blow. The light of reincarnation in Lin Xian's eyes disappeared, and he said coldly, The exquisite body was only SOO. His voice was sonorous, and even heaven and earth rumbled. The surrounding people's scalps went numb. Previously, in their opinion, there should be a shocking battle between the exquisite body and the 9-yang divine body. It was hard to say who would win and who would lose. But who would have thought that Lin Xian didn't use the 9-yang divine body at all, but a godlike eye? Especially that ray of light just now, it was too terrifying. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal platform were also stunned. How was this possible? A supreme expert that they had invited had fallen, just like that? Was Lin Wuti already so terrifying? Lin Xian said coldly, Who else are you going to send? I'll take them all. The people from the Origin Magnetic Immortal platform fell silent. Even the exquisite body was no match for him. Who could compete? The others were even more shocked. Lin Xian sneered. Now you still say that I relied on the heavenly court to be strong? Everyone was shocked. As expected of a supreme being, no one could compare to Lin Wuti. Lin Xian turned to look at his surroundings and stared at Han Tian. Then he looked at the people from the Purple Mansion and said coldly, What about you? Those people were also silent. Lin Xian looked at Xin Jingqiu and said, Qiu'er, come back. No matter what you need, I'll give it to you. Don't stay in the Purple Mansion anymore. Xin Jingqiu nodded. She said, Okay. She walked forward. At this moment, the Purple Mansion's mansion lord stood out and stopped her. Don't forget the agreement between us. Xin Jingqiu's eyes flashed with a terrifying light. A mysterious figure appeared beside her. Our agreement is over. I've already gotten what I want. Damn it. The Purple Mansion's people's faces turned ugly. But I haven't gotten what I want. You haven't given it to me. Xin Jingqiu snorted. Purple Mansion, don't be greedy. You've already gotten what you want. What's next doesn't belong to you. Ridiculous. My Purple Mansion spent so much effort to help you. You want to repay me with those things? Tell me your secret. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving the Purple Mansion today. The reason why he cooperated with Shen Jingqiu was that the Purple Mansion really wanted Shen Jingqiu's cultivation technique. He felt that it was also a taboo cultivation technique, not weaker than the demonic heaven-devouring art. If the Purple Mansion could get it, their strength would increase greatly. But now, Shen Jingqiu didn't plan to give it to them. How could the mansion lord be willing? Lin Xian stood out and said coldly, "Why don't you try to attack Qiu Er?" The Purple Mansion's mansion lord turned around. A terrifying killing intent appeared. It was like the end of the world. Everyone was frightened. "Lin Wuti, you're too arrogant. Although you're a young supreme being, can you fight against a real sacred master?" His powerful strength swept across the land. Lin Xian's eyes flashed with the light of reincarnation again. It turned into a world of reincarnation that kept spinning. He used his soul to resist. At the same time, he snorted coldly. "It seems like you don't know what's good for you. Are you not going to obey the Boundary Emperor's order? The Sacred Master is not allowed to attack me. Otherwise, you can just wait for death." Is that so? That was in the past. Now, there's more than one Boundary Emperor in the world. The Purple Mansion's mansion lord sneered and looked at the Handan tribe. "Fellow Taoist, shall we join forces?" Of course. The Handan tribe's expert walked out. He said proudly, "Our Handan tribe also has a Boundary Emperor." Chapter 5298. The Handan tribe brought out a quasi-emperor to offset the threat Lin Wuti posed to them. The Purple Mansion lord laughed out loud. How could Lin Wuti threaten him now? Go to hell. He slapped out with his palm. The terrifying palm filled the sky as if it was going to shatter the universe. He charged towards Lin Xian. However, the palm didn't land because Black Mountain made a move. Black Mountain also punched out with his black fist. It swept across the sky and shook the void, blocking the Purple Mansion lord's palm. The two of them swept across the universe. "You want to fight? I'll accompany you to the end." Black Mountain sneered. Lin Xian pointed his sword forward. "Purple Mansion, was there no one in the younger generation who could fight? Don't talk nonsense with him, just attack. Master of the Great Wilderness, go!" The Purple Mansion lord snorted. On the other side, an expert surrounded by a desolate aura walked out. She was the master of the Great Wilderness. She was someone from 20,000 years ago. The moment she appeared, the terrifying desolate aura swept in all directions. At this moment, everyone felt their scalps go numb. Long Wu also shouted angrily. The 10,000 dragons court attacked to kill Lin Wuti and avenge the prince. The experts beside the 10,000 dragons attacked. Similarly, a divine ancestor walked out. Another divine ancestor walked out from the Handan tribe's magnetic immortal platform. These divine ancestors covered the sky and covered the earth. They all stared at Lin Xian. Everyone's scalps went numb. What kind of power was this? With so many divine ancestors facing one person, Lin Wuti was probably going to die. "How dare you!" The Nebula Hall Master also rushed out. At the same time, the power of the immortal platform and the power of the heavenly court brought by Black Mountain also erupted. They rushed over and confronted the people around them. However, on the other side, the Purple Mansion Lord, the Handan tribe, the 10,000 Dragons Court, the magnetic immortal platform, and the Destiny Twins race all attacked. Once these powers were unleashed, a terrifying battle instantly broke out. The surrounding people all retreated far away. Everyone was terrified. What kind of battle was this? Lin Xian was suppressed. Among them, 5 divine ancestors attacked Lin Xian together. They completely shattered the void where Lin Xian was. Lin Xian bellowed. He entered the sword world, and at the same time, he sent a sound transmission to the Black Mountain. "Help me hold on for a few seconds. I'm going to use my trump card." Black Mountain nodded in understanding. He commanded the Heavenly Court to unleash terrifying power. The Heavenly Court formed an illusion of the southern heavenly gate, suppressing heaven and earth. It's useless. The divine ancestor of the primal chaos race sneered. You can't save him at all. He will definitely die today. The Purple Mansion Master, the Holy Master of Fate, and the other experts also attacked madly. Han Tian, Kuan Pengzi, and the others retreated far away as they watched the battle anxiously. Lin Wuti was dead. The corners of Han Tian's mouth raised into a smile. This was because Lin Xian had long since disappeared from this world. The others were also puzzled. Had he been killed? The phantom image of the southern heavenly gate kept shaking as cracks appeared on its surface. He Shan's face changed. What happened to the kid? The southern heavenly gate was about to shatter, unable to hold on any longer. The next moment, Lin Xian's voice rang out. All right, just watch me. The southern heavenly gate disappeared, and hundreds of black holes appeared in the void, connecting the universe. The others were shocked. The heavenly court had lost. Lin Wuti was dead for sure. Ha! I think his soul has been destroyed long ago. One after another, voices rang out. However, at this moment, a figure walked out from between heaven and earth. There are so many holy masters here. It's fun to bully a young man, isn't it? You like to bully the weak, don't you? Today, I'll let you know what it means to bully the weak. The figure was surrounded by a mysterious light. He stretched out a finger and pointed forward. Who do you think you are? How dare you fight me? The Lord of the Great Desolation sneered. He was an expert from 20,000 years ago. At this moment, he formed a desolate divine palm and slapped forward. However, after colliding with the finger, he suddenly retreated. The desolate divine palm cracked, and half of his body turned into a bloody mist. In the end, his entire body split in half. He screamed and retreated, but it was useless. Under this attack, his soul was destroyed. He was dead. The surrounding people were stunned. That was the Lord of the Great Desolation. He was an extremely powerful existence among the Holy Masters. But now he couldn't even block a finger. Who was this newcomer? They were horrified and couldn't believe it. Damn it. Could it be that the Heavenly Court had an extremely terrifying expert? After all, this person walked out of the southern heavenly gate, but they had never heard of him. If the Heavenly Court had such a terrifying expert, why would they hide until now? They probably would have swept the world long ago. Retreat, retreat quickly. At this moment, the people of the Purple Mansion were terrified. The people of the Destiny clan, the 10,000 Dragons Court, and the Primal Chaos clan all retreated. They all fled in all directions. However, the figure sneered. Don't you think it's too late to leave now? Set the universe. With a furious roar, he stomped his foot, and a large crack spread in all directions. The entire world froze. Everyone felt their bodies turn cold. They seemed to have fallen into the other party's control and couldn't escape at all. In the next moment, a figure walked in the void toward the divine ancestor of destiny. The divine ancestor of destiny was an old man. Half of his face was like an angel, and the other half was like a demon. At this moment, his expression was terrified. He knelt on the ground with a plop. Senior, please spare my life. However, a foot landed and directly stomped him into pieces. He screamed in pain, and his soul was destroyed. He was dead. Another holy master had died. The other's skin went numb, and the spectators were even more terrified. This power was difficult to resist. The figure walked in front of the Han Dun tribe again. The middle-aged man of the Han Dun tribe also had an ugly expression. He gritted his teeth and said, "Let us go. Let me tell you, the Han Dun tribe has a boundary emperor." "Is that so? Then let him come over and talk to me." "You don't have the right to talk to me." The figure raised his palm and slapped forward. With a bang, the Han Dun tribe's divine ancestor was shattered. Half of his body was also smashed into pieces. He turned into chaos energy and screamed crazily. Your voice. You're Lin Wuti? That's right, it's me. The corners of the figure's mouth curled up, and then he waved his hand gently. The Hun Dun divine ancestor's soul was destroyed. What, Lin Wudi? How was that possible? Everyone was stunned. However, they carefully identified the voice and realized that it really was Lin Wudi's voice. However, the man in front of them was not Lin Wudi at all. Moreover, he did not have the 9-yang divine body. What was going on? The experts of the Thousand Dragon Court were terrified, killing a holy master with a raise of his hand. Only a boundary emperor could do that. This body was a boundary emperor's. They were so scared that their scalps went numb. However, some people exclaimed, "Magnetism, Quasi-Emperor." This was the magnetism, Quasi-Emperor. These people had all entered the cave abode, so they naturally recognized him. They did not expect the magnetite boundary emperor to come out. Moreover, what was even more puzzling was that the magnetite boundary emperor's voice was the same as Lin Wudi's. What was going on? Chapter 5299. Ancestor, this is our ancestor. The people of the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform roared excitedly. They ran over and knelt on the ground to greet their ancestor. Lin Xian turned around and looked at these people. He sneered and kicked them away. "Ancestor, do you still recognize me? I said before that the longevity lamp was given to Lin Wudi. But you dare to disobey my orders? We don't dare." These people shook their heads frantically. They felt that this was the power of a quasi-emperor, which completely surpassed them. The surrounding people were all stunned. No one had thought that such a situation would happen. Originally, these sacred masters attacked Lin Wudi together, which was definitely a dead end. But who would have thought that a quasi-emperor would make a move at the critical moment? And the voice belonged to Lin Wudi. This scene was too strange. Lin Xian looked at the Hun Dun clan again, his eyes emitting a cold light. The people of the Hun Dun clan retreated frantically. Their scalps were numb. Run. Thinking of this, they turned around and fled. However, Lin Xian sneered. "Don't you think it's too late to leave now?" He took a step forward and instantly blocked the path of these people. The people of the Hun Dun clan were terrified. "Don't go too far." "That's right, a quasi-emperor. What's the point of bullying juniors like us?" Lin Xian laughed loudly when he heard this. "Why, now you know that you're going too far. Then, what's the point of you sacred masters bullying a young man?" The surrounding people were shocked. This quasi-emperor was obviously standing up for Lin Xian. One must know that when so many sacred ancestors attacked Lin Xian together, they were definitely going too far. But no one could stop them. Now that this quasi-emperor had appeared, he wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine. The people of the Hun Dun clan didn't know what to say. In the end, they could only grit their teeth and say, "We have no choice." "No choice? Then I have no choice now." With that, Lin Xian attacked again and slapped out. 2 sacred ancestors of the Hun Dun clan died. Another kick flew out, and a large number of Hun Dun clan experts turned into a bloody mist. No, the remaining people went crazy. They couldn't resist at all. They knelt on the ground. Lin Xian looked past them and at the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. "You all said that you wanted to take revenge for the prince, so I gave you all a chance." The people from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty were so scared that their scalps went numb. He didn't dare to speak. In the end, a single slap from Lin Xian turned more than a dozen Dragon Clan experts into a bloody mist and scattered ashes. "Damn it!" Long Wu roared and quickly retreated. She felt a fatal danger. In the next moment, he let out a furious roar, and the 10,000 dragons' picture flew out, shining brilliantly between heaven and earth. Extreme Tao power flew out. Everyone had hope again. That was great. With an extreme weapon, they could fight against everything. However, Lin Xian controlled the quasi-emperor's corpse to stand there unmoved. An extreme weapon? He reached out a hand and grabbed the 10,000 dragons diagram. Damn it! Long Wu roared and unleashed the 10,000 dragons picture with all her might. He turned into a dragon image and charged over, clashing with the Quasi-Emperor's palm. Boom! An earth-shattering sound could be heard. The two of them were actually evenly matched. Everyone went crazy. Was this the power of a Quasi-Emperor? It was really too powerful. It could actually fight against the 10,000 dragons picture. Of course, there were also people who sighed. That was because Long Wu was too weak and couldn't fully unleash the power of the 10,000 dragons picture. Otherwise, even a Quasi-Emperor would have to temporarily avoid it. But all of this was useless. No one could fully recover. An extreme weapon. And this Quasi-Emperor was a real existence. Boom! After another 3 moves, the 10,000 dragons picture was sent flying. Long Wu also vomited large mouthfuls of blood. However, he was protected by the 10,000 dragons picture and didn't die. Lin Xian looked around again and said coldly, "Who attacked just now? Kneel down and accept your death." Everyone retreated in fear, not daring to speak. Lin Xian snorted coldly and attacked the Purple Mansion realm again. The Destiny clan. Run. At this moment, everyone fled frantically. Lin Xian struck out with his palm, and more than half of the Purple Mansion realm experts died. It was the same for the Destiny clan. It was very miserable. No one could block it. They couldn't even block a finger. In this world, only Lin Xian stood there. He was surrounded by mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Many sacred lords had died. As for the other saint experts, there were countless of them. At this moment, the entire ancient city was shocked. However, this wasn't the end. Lin Xian looked into the distance again. 9-star immortal platforms? They actually betrayed him? Lin Xian's figure flickered and flew into the distance. The people of the 9-star immortal platforms were anxiously waiting. Today, their hall master and the experts of the primal chaos race went to capture Lin Wudi. They didn't know what the result was. Suddenly, they saw the people of the 9-star immortal platforms running back frantically. In fact, even their hall master's face was filled with fear. Quickly activate the Peerless formation. Block it with all your strength. Hall master, what happened? Did a Peerless Tharch come? Was it the primal chaos race that refused to stop? These people were puzzled as they moved. However, no one answered them. In the next moment, a shocking power surged out, and the Peerless formation instantly shattered. The surrounding people all vomited blood and were sent flying. Among them, many people turned into blood mist. The remaining people knelt on the ground, their faces filled with shock. Was a heavenly god descending? This power was simply too terrifying. Soon, they saw a figure descending from the sky. It was a man who emitted a mysterious aura. He was extraordinary. He was like a god. After he arrived, his gaze swept across everyone. Everyone was so frightened that they almost fainted. They couldn't withstand a single gaze. Even those elders and sacred ancestors couldn't resist it. Who was this person? It was too terrifying. When did they, the 9-star immortal platforms, offend such an existence? The hall master of the 9-star immortal platforms was trembling in fear. Senior Quasi-Emperor, please forgive us this once. As he spoke, he crawled on the ground. Quasi-Emperor, the pupils of the surrounding people shrank when they heard this. They, the immortal platforms, had offended a Quasi-Emperor. They were about to die from fear. Now you know fear? What choice did you make previously? Lin Xian was a guest you invited, right? In the end, not only did you not protect him, you even plotted against him. You want to kill him? Is it wrong for me to punish you now? The 9-star hall master didn't dare to speak. Those elders were also frightened. Since you didn't do anything wrong, go to hell and repent. At this point, a murderous intent appeared on Lin Xian's body. The faces of the surrounding people changed. No, before they could say anything, a huge hand had already slapped over. The 9-star Hall Master's body was instantly torn into pieces. Those elders beside him were also torn apart, turning into a sea of blood. The remaining people all knelt down. That was their Hall Master. There were also some extremely terrifying elders, but they were all annihilated by a single palm. They couldn't resist at all. If the other party wanted to destroy their 9-star immortal platforms, it was probably just a matter of waving his hand. Chapter 5300. Lin Xian looked ahead at the frightened 9-star immortal platform, his eyes still flashing with cold killing intent. The people of the 9-star immortal platform were incomparably terrified. Even their Hall Master was dead. Who could resist? At this time, an old man walked out from under the ground. This old man was very old. He was a living fossil of the 9-star immortal platform. After he came out, he said in a low voice, "Senior, please spare our lives. We immortal platform will not dare to do it again." Lin Xian snorted coldly, "This is a warning to you all. If there is a next time, I will turn the 9-star immortal platform into ashes." He did not continue to attack because he felt that his soul had reached a limit. He could no longer control the corpse of this quasi-emperor. However, he felt that it was about time. He killed more than 10 sacred lords in one move, and now he killed an immortal platform Hall Master, making an immortal platform bow down to him. It was enough to intimidate the entire ancient city. Therefore, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He soared into the sky and disappeared. Above the 9 heavens, Lin Xian opened the sword world. He walked in. After entering, his soul flew out. After entering the main body, Lin Xian's face became incomparably pale. His right eye was already closed. This time, using the power of reincarnation consumed a lot of his soul. Lin Xian was there, using the power of the sword world to repair his soul. Gradually, his face softened a little. The Hellfire Dragon flew out and asked, "How is it?" Lin Xian said, "I have intimidated them for a short time, but it is not over. If someone fully recovered and had an extreme weapon, it would probably be another big battle. Of course, I am worried about another thing. That is the quasi-emperor of the primal chaos race." The Hellfire Dragon also took a deep breath. If the primal chaos race really had a quasi-emperor, then it would be troublesome. Although Lin Xian could control the quasi-emperor's body now, he could only use its power. Its laws and cultivation could not be used. However, a living quasi-emperor was different. You simply couldn't contend against them. Indeed, Lin Xian was able to contend against Quasi-Emperor 9 Firmaments earlier because Quasi-Emperor 9 Firmaments had just broken the seal and did not have much power. However, the boundary emperors of the primal chaos race were different. They should be existences like Lord Ninewine. Even if Lin Xian possessed the corpse of a quasi-emperor, he would not be able to completely contend against it. However, if the other party wanted to kill him, it would not be so easy. After all, Lin Xian also had many trump cards. Lin Xian returned to the Starfall Immortal platform. Upon seeing Lin Xian's return, the Hall Masters and Elders all heaved a sigh of relief. Murong Qingqing and the others also walked over and said, "Brother Xian, it's great that you're fine." They were also extremely worried before. This news spread throughout the Yuhua ancient city. Everyone was shocked, especially the scene of the 9-star immortal platform. When they found out, they sucked in a breath of cold air. The 9-star Hall Lord actually died? This was simply too unbelievable. The other Immortal Foundation experts felt their scalps turning numb. That was the Lord of the Immortal platform, but he was killed by someone. Perhaps now, no one would dare to make a move against Lin Xian. On the other side, the people of the primal chaos race gritted their teeth. Han Tian's face was gloomy. Damn it, why would this quasi-emperor help Lin Wudi? He was about to go crazy with anger. Previously, he had called the divine ancestor of the primal chaos race to join forces with others to attack. However, The result was completely out of his expectations. On the other side, the people of the Purple Mansion also walked over with gloomy expressions. The Purple Mansion Master said, "Do you think it's possible that it's not a living quasi-emperor at all? It's the corpse of the quasi-emperor controlled by Lin Wuti." As soon as these words came out, Hun Tian's face changed. This was impossible, right? However, the elder of the primal chaos race had a grave expression. He said, "We also have this suspicion. After all, they have seen a real quasi-emperor before. It was their ancestor." The other party's aura was enough to make them panic. The aura was much more terrifying than the previous quasi-emperor. Moreover, the previous quasi-emperor only used the power of his physique. He did not use any laws or divine abilities at all. They definitely had this suspicion. Lin Wuti actually controlled the corpse of a quasi-emperor. No wonder he could obtain the longevity lamp. Damn it. The people of the Purple Mansion gritted their teeth. The people of the primal chaos race laughed. So what? No matter how strong he is not a real quasi-emperor. In that case, it seems that we have to ask the ancestor to help. Quickly send the news to the ancestor. A quasi-emperor's corpse is very precious. They knew, if their ancestor obtained it, then their ancestor might be able to use it to break through. Thinking of this, they were extremely excited. On the other side, the people of the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform were also terrified. Their ancestor had appeared and taught them a lesson. They did not dare to be arrogant anymore. However, on this day a figure descended. "Who are you?" The people of the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform blocked the way. The figure was dressed in cotton clothes. The corners of his mouth curled up as he spoke. "I want to see the palace master of your immortal platform. My name is Yao Guang." Hearing this name, the people of the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform narrowed their eyes. They were no stranger to this name. This was because this was a young powerhouse who cultivated a forbidden martial art, the demonic sky-devouring skill. Why was he looking for him? They did not dare to be careless and invited him in. The palace master of the immortal platform also walked out. The palace master frowned. "I wonder why Prince Yao Guang is looking for me?" Yao Guang smiled indifferently. "I know you are afraid of my cultivation technique. Don't worry, I am not here to devour you today. I'm here to ask you something. Don't you want your ancestor's corpse back?" Ancestor's corpse? What did he mean? The Origin Magnetic Palace master frowned. Yao Guang said, "It was very simple. The Origin Magnetic Quasi-Emperor who appeared was already dead. His corpse was controlled by someone else." "What?" The Origin Magnetic Palace master was shocked. The other elders exclaimed. In the next moment, their eyes narrowed. "You are saying that Lin Wuti is controlling our ancestor's corpse?" "That's right." Yao Guang nodded. "Damn it." The surrounding people roared. I was wondering why their voices were so familiar. That's right. Why would our ancestor help an outsider? Everything made sense now. That is your ancestor. Would you allow him to be in the hands of an outsider? Besides, how valuable is a quasi-emperor's corpse? I think you should understand. Hearing Yao Guang's words, those people clenched their fists. However, some of the elders sighed. So what? Since he can already control the quasi-emperor's corpse, we can't do anything about it, unless we can fully recover our extreme weapons. However, Lin Wuti also has an extreme weapon in his hands. Yao Guang smiled. No matter, the quasi-emperor's body is not that easy to control. I estimate that he can only control it once. He won't be able to control it a second time in a short time. Therefore, he is at his weakest now. If we make a move now, we can definitely take his life. Chapter 5301. The eyes of the people on the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform flickered. This might be an opportunity. Why are you helping us? The Origin Magnetic Palace Master asked. Yao Guang smiled. Lin Wuti is my enemy. If he dies, I will have one less enemy. As soon as he said this, everyone believed him. However, there was another reason that Yao Guang didn't mention. There was a Boundary Emperor's soul in his body, and he needed a body. If he could get a Boundary Emperor's body, he would become a new Boundary Emperor after fusing with his soul. This was an extremely terrifying existence. After walking out of the Origin magnetic immortal platform, Yao Guang's face darkened. You won't kill me after you get it, right? Why would I? You think too much. Boundary Emperor 9 Firmament's remnant soul said, I'm not sure if I can fuse with that body. Even if I do, I only have a 30% chance of success. If I don't succeed, I will find another body. Actually, I can give you this Boundary Emperor's body. If you swallow it, your strength will increase greatly. What I want more is Lin Wudi's body. Boundary Emperor 9 Firmament's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Although the Boundary Emperor's body was powerful, it was still a Boundary Emperor. It would definitely reject his soul. As a young supreme being, Lin Xian's cultivation level wasn't that terrifying. If he could grow again, that was what he wanted the most. Where should we go next? Yao Guang asked. Boundary Emperor 9 Firmament thought for a while and said, Let's go to the Purple Mansion. We have to borrow their strength. Didn't you look down on the Purple Mansion? Yao Guang frowned. Boundary Emperor 9 Firmament said, That was then, and this is now. I am no longer in my peak state. Moreover, the Purple Mansion isn't that bad. Let me tell you a secret. There is a Triple Crown King in the Purple Mansion. Yao Guang's eyes narrowed. The Double Crown King was already able to fight against the Divine Ancestor. How terrifying would the Triple Crown King be? Moreover, he didn't know about this before. The Triple Crown King isn't from this era. He has been in hibernation for many years. All right, let's go to the Purple Mansion. Yao Guang's side moved quickly. On the other side, the people on the Origin magnetic immortal platform also moved. They went to the Nebula immortal platform and asked to see Lin Xian. As for the excuse, it was very simple. They wanted to ask about the magnetism quasi-emperor. After all, he was the old ancestor of the other party. Thus, the Nebula immortal platform couldn't reject him. After they asked Lin Xian, they let the Origin magnetism Hall Master and the others in. Lin Xian sat there and looked at the people from Origin Magnetic Immortal Palace with a smile on his face. In his opinion, these people should not dare to be presumptuous. The Elemental Magnet Palace Master said, Lin Gongzi, where is our old ancestor? Please hand it over. Lin Xian frowned. What do you mean? Our goal this time is very simple. We just want to take away the old ancestor's corpse. A corpse? Lin Yuan's face darkened as he asked coldly, Who told you that? Lin Gongzi didn't need to know about this. We already know the truth, so please hand over the corpse of our ancestor. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite. Lin Xian sneered. Why aren't you being polite? For the old ancestor, we're willing to sacrifice everything. The atmosphere became tense in an instant. The people from the Nebula Immortal Platform were also shocked. They didn't expect the Origin Magnetic Immortal Platform to be so daring. One had to know that Lin Xian had just killed a Hall Master and more than 10 Holy Lords. Who gave him the courage? The Origin Magnetic Hall Master said, Lin Gongzi doesn't need to threaten us. A quasi-emperor's corpse isn't so easy to use. How many times can young master use it? Young master, think about it carefully. Why do you need another enemy? The Origin Magnetic Hall Master sneered and turned to leave. He wasn't in a hurry. He knew that the quasi-emperor's corpse would be his sooner or later. Looking at the Origin Magnetic Hall Master's back view, Lin Xian's face turned cold. Yanru walked over and said, The situation doesn't look good. Lin Xian frowned and asked, Where's Qing Qing? Yan Ruyu said she was accompanying Qiu'er. Lin Xian nodded. It seems like someone has discovered my secret. On the other side, Black Mountain also walked over. I can feel a few powerful auras descending. Evidently, these people aren't giving up. They are mobilizing forces from outside. Are there a lot of people? Lin Xian asked. Black Mountain said, with our heavenly court's current strength, even if a few more sacred lords come, we can still contend against them. However, if a quasi-emperor from the primal chaos race comes, I'm afraid we won't be able to do anything. Moreover, if a quasi-emperor makes a move, things will be different. Not only does he want to kill you, but he also wants the quasi-emperor's corpse and the longevity lamp. Lin Xian's expression turned grave after hearing this. He had many enemies. The emperor race, the clan of the ancients, and now he had provoked a quasi-emperor. If these people gathered together, it would be a terrifying force. Moreover, although he had the great dragon sword soul and an extreme weapon, they could also gather together. However, the other party could also condense it, so he had to find a new power. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian sent a message to Lord Alcohol. Perhaps he had to ask Lord Alcohol to come out this time. Next, the entire Yuhua ancient city became extremely tense. Countless figures descended from the sky. There were dragon race experts who covered the sky and earth. There were destiny race experts who formed good and evil statues. There were also primal chaos race experts who seemed to be splitting the sky and earth. Purple Mansion race experts and Golden Crow race experts came one after another. They gathered in the ancient city. More importantly, these people joined forces and headed towards the Nebula Immortal platform. At this moment, the Nebula Immortal platform shook violently. Countless cracks appeared in the sky. The faces of the people below became extremely ugly. Those elders hurriedly activated the array formation. It was a peerless array formation to protect them. However, they still felt the pressure. It was as if thousands of mountains were pressing down on their heads. It caused their souls to sway. Yan Ruyu, Murong Qingcheng, and the others looked nervous. Black Mountain's expression was also extremely solemn. He said, I also feel the pressure. This pressure didn't come from the other sacred lords. He didn't say anything else. However, Lin Xian's expression was solemn. It came from the sacred lords. Only a quasi-emperor could give Black Mountain pressure. It seemed that the quasi-emperor of the primal chaos race had arrived. Everyone in the ancient city was shocked when they sensed this aura. It was the aura of another quasi-emperor. Heavens, this time Lin Wudi was really going to die. However, people like the 10,000 Dragons Court and the Twins of Destiny were overjoyed. With a quasi-emperor standing behind them, they would definitely be safe. The dark clouds in the sky pressed down on the city. Even the peerless array formation of the immortal platform was shattered. The palaces and pavilions below were shattered. Those elders vomited blood and retreated. Lin Xian was also on guard. His face was pale. However, his figure was as straight as a divine sword. He looked up at the sky and said coldly, A few days ago, you were beaten by me like stray dogs. Now, even if you join forces, you won't be my match. Get lost. Let your true experts come and talk to me. Chapter 5302. The surrounding people were stunned. Who would dare to speak so arrogantly in the face of such a terrifying sage? However, Lin Xian dared to. Even the other experts and sacred leaders could not refute him. They knew that Lin Xian had a trump card that allowed him to control the Boundary Emperor's corpse. Therefore, they did not make a move. Instead, they respectfully opened up a path for him. In the next moment, an old man walked out from the void. This old man had a sage-like demeanor, as if he was an old immortal. As soon as he appeared, a vast emperor's aura swept out in all directions. At this moment, everyone felt their hair stand on end. Countless people prostrated themselves on the ground. The power of a boundary emperor was definitely unparalleled. It was something that they could not fight against. Everyone was shocked. They did not expect a boundary emperor to really come. Not good. Murong Qingqing, Yen Ruyu, and the others' faces turned ugly. Even Black Mountain's expression was solemn. The Nebula Immortal Palace was in complete despair. They could not fight against such power. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He also felt a great pressure. Was the Boundary Emperor really here? It seemed that the situation had become difficult. However, he did not retreat. Instead, he remained standing in the void. An endless vortex appeared beside him. It devoured the heavens and the earth to resist the Boundary Emperor's power. The heaven-devouring jar appeared. At the same time, Murong Qingqing, Yen Ruyu, Shen Jingqiu, and the others also rose into the air. How dare you help her? When the Purple Mansion Master saw Shen Jingqiu, he immediately snorted. He slashed out. The purple divine sword seemed to have turned into a purple lightning bolt. It instantly slashed toward Shen Jingqiu. It was the power of a sacred leader. Shen Jingqiu did not dare to be careless. She snorted. A terrifying vortex appeared behind her. A figure appeared in the vortex. With Tianyin, it resisted the sword. With a clang, it was shaken until its blood boiled and its face turned pale. At this moment, the experts of the Thousand Dragon Court also attacked. A dragon claw covered the sky and the earth. It was like thousands of mountains descending from the sky. Black Mountain also attacked. The southern heavens gate suppressed. The two collided, causing an endless storm. The two sides were evenly matched. However, everyone knew that Lin Xian's side was doomed. This was because the other party had a true quasi-emperor. Sure enough, the quasi-emperor of the Handan tribe spoke in the next moment. He looked ahead and said, "You're Lin Xian. Come back with me obediently, and I can spare your life." As soon as these words were spoken, countless people were shocked. Lin Xian sneered. Go back with you? Would he still have a chance to live? Don't you just want the quasi-emperor corpse and the longevity lamp? He made it sound so dignified. Young man, there are some things that cannot be said. Otherwise, you might not even know how you died. The quasi-emperor's voice contained a trace of cold, killing intent. The void around Lin Xian crumbled and cracked. Even Lin Xian felt an endless impact. Many of the surrounding black vortexes had collapsed and cracks had appeared. Lin Xian's expression was extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth. I'm thinking, should I use the physique of a quasi-emperor or take out the great dragon's sword to fight? However, at this moment, a voice also came from the sky. Why is a quasi-emperor so shameless? He doesn't even care about his face anymore. As soon as the voice came out, a terrifying vortex appeared and swept across heaven and earth. Everyone was shocked and looked up at the sky. They saw a middle-aged man in a Taoist robe appear in the sky. The man's black hair fluttered in the wind, and he was wearing a Taoist robe and holding a wine gourd in his hand. He was unusually handsome, like the wine sword immortal. It's him. Some people's pupils shrank when they saw him. Is this the quasi-emperor behind Lin Xian? They didn't expect him to come too. Two quasi-emperors appeared at the same time. This scene would be a fierce battle. Who would win and who would lose? Lin Xian also heaved a sigh of relief. He had sent a message to Lord Alcohol earlier, but he didn't expect him to come at the critical moment. Devouring Sword, the Wine Sword Immortal, the Handan Quasi-Emperor also frowned. He didn't expect this Quasi-Emperor to be so extraordinary. He was the successor of the Devouring Sword of the 5 Swords of the world. Do you want to protect him? The Handan Quasi-Emperor said coldly. Lord Alcohol said, Do you want to fight? You'll have to get past me first. As his voice fell, a black devouring sword light swept across heaven and earth as if it was going to devour everything. The Handan Quasi-Emperor also released a terrifying chaotic aura. One was devouring everything, while the other was creating a new world. The two forces could be said to be polar opposites. They clashed in the sky and swept through everything. Everyone was forced to retreat and hide behind the two quasi-emperors. Our Handan tribe is not something you can imagine. If you want to protect him, sure. Let him hand over the quasi-emperor corpse and the longevity lamp, and hand over the heaven-devouring jar. In this way, I can spare his life and let him continue to live. The other's expressions changed. Whether it was the quasi-emperor corpse, the longevity lamp, or the heaven-devouring jar, they were all supreme treasures. How could Lin Xian agree when the other party wanted all of them? As expected, Lin Xian snorted coldly. Impossible, stop dreaming. You heard it. I gave him a chance, but he didn't cherish it, so don't blame me. The Handan quasi-emperor walked out. Lord Alcohol also frowned. If you dare to attack him, I'll kill all of your Handan tribe. Don't doubt my words. I'll do what I say. Moreover, you, a quasi-emperor, actually want the treasures of a junior. Don't you feel ashamed? He obtained these things himself. This is his opportunity. You have no right to snatch it. Is that so? The auras of the two quasi-emperors became more and more terrifying, and the surrounding people couldn't withstand it. Fortunately, the two quasi-emperors had arrived above the 9 heavens. They were like two gods confronting each other. Everyone could only feel the terrifying aura coming from the sky. Their scalps went numb. However, at this moment, the Z Mansion master sneered and stared at Shin Jingqiu. Hand over your taboo martial arts, or don't blame us for being impolite. He charged over. Shin Jingqiu snorted and attacked. The two sides engaged in a great battle. Shin Jingqiu was suppressed. The people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty also stared at Lin Xian. You killed our prince. Today is the day you die. Buzz! Buzz! In an instant, these people charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly as he swept his long sword across. As the sword of origin returned, a terrifying aura swept across the area. The other experts, the Destiny tribe, the Golden Crow tribe, and the Purple Mansion realm experts. In addition, the experts of the Magnetic Immortal Foundation all walked over. They wanted to attack together. This time, with the Handan quasi-emperor, they didn't have any scruples. On the other side, Black Mountain walked over. He ordered the experts of the Heavenly Court. The Nebula Hall Master also rose into the sky with the experts of the Nebula Immortal Foundation. Who dared to touch him? With a command, the 9 heavens and 10 lands shook. Is that so? Is the Nebula Immortal Foundation very impressive? Then what about the Gu family? Gu Feng also brought people over. At this moment, the Gu family was completely opposite Lin Xian. They had become enemies. Chapter 5303. Apart from that, the Fire Qilin clan had also arrived. They had brought 10,000 flames with them. Countless people were shocked. It was another Emperor clan. Oh heavens! How many enemies did Lin Wudi provoke? Lin Xian's expression was extremely ugly. Was the Fire Qilin clan finally going to make a move? Damn, the Qilin clan. Kuanpeng Zi retreated into the distance. The Kuanpeng clan would only be spectators this time and would not participate in the battle. On the other side, Yi Wudao walked out and stood on Lin Xian's side. The experts of the Yi clan also walked out. At the same time, the experts of the Dao sect in St. Origin City arrived. The 4 ancestors of the Dao sect descended from the sky. Even the divine generals of the St. Origin Tower had arrived. They all chose to support Lin Xian. We're here too. The Crimson Dragon is here too. They brought countless experts of the Dragon Clan with them. The Dragon Clan in the entire universe was now divided into 2 factions. One faction supported the Thousand Dragon Court, while the other faction supported the Crimson Dragon, Lin Xian, and the others. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon had brought the other half of his strength over. The people of the Thousand Dragon Court had extremely ugly expressions. Damn it, we're the ancestors of the Dragon Clan. You should have betrayed the Dragon Clan. The Crimson Dragon sneered. Who made this rule? You're the Orthodox Dragon Clan? Hurry up and submit. The strength of both sides was getting stronger, and the atmosphere was getting more and more tense. The battle was about to erupt. At this moment, a devouring sword light slashed down from the sky and directly cut through heaven and earth. It formed a black crack, blocking everyone's path. Who dares to attack him? Lord Alcohol's cold voice sounded. The sacred lords below felt their scalps go numb. They would definitely die if they were targeted by a quasi-emperor. Now, they could only place their hopes on quasi-emperor Hun Tian. However, the two quasi-emperors were evenly matched. It would be difficult to determine the winner in a short time. Little guy, give me the heaven-devouring jar. At this moment, Lord Alcohol spoke. Lin Xian threw out the heaven-devouring jar. After Lord Alcohol obtained it, he used the devouring sword and the heaven-devouring jar. In an instant, the sky completely darkened. The terrifying vortex caused many people to cry out in alarm. Some people were instantly swallowed. Damn it, are you courting death? The primal chaos quasi-emperor was thoroughly enraged. The Thousand Dragon Court also spoke. Senior, take the extreme Dao weapon. They were also anxious as they took the 10,000 dragons diagram. The chaos quasi-emperor had borrowed the power of the 10,000 dragons diagram to resist the sky-swallowing jar. The two sides were once again in a stalemate. On the Gu family's side, Gu Feng held the void mirror in his hand, his eyes flashing with killing intent. However, Leaf Dao Denier had also brought the heaven and earth cauldron. Lin Xian took a deep breath when he saw that the other extreme weapons were about to awaken. He opened the sword world, and a corpse flew out. It was the magnetism quasi-emperor. Once this quasi-emperor's corpse appeared, another terrifying force swept out in all directions. The light of samsara appeared in Lin Xian's right eye. Controlling the corpse of the magnetism quasi-emperor, he punched out. It shook the heavens and earth. Many geniuses in front were instantly turned into a bloody mist. Damn it, how dare you! Seeing this, the chaotic quasi-emperor's face turned extremely ugly. Lin Xian sneered. Why wouldn't I dare? If Lord Alcohol can restrain you, you won't have a chance to deal with me. As for the remaining people, if I risk my life and use the quasi-emperor's corpse, let's see how many of you can leave alive. Lin Xian's words made everyone's hair stand on end. However, the Purple Mansion Realm expert snorted coldly. How much soul power do you have? You can use it limitlessly. The quasi-emperor's corpse? What a joke! Lin Xian snorted coldly. My soul power is indeed not much. However, it's not a problem for me to kill a few sacred masters. Who would be willing to be the first to die? His Rinnegan swept in all directions. Everyone was terrified. Indeed, the other party could not kill everyone. However, the other party could definitely kill the first few people. Therefore, for a moment, no one was willing to make a move. When Lin Xian saw this scene, he laughed out loud. What alliance? What experts? You're just a bunch of cowardly fools. Didn't you guys say that you wanted to kill me? I'm standing here. Why? Don't you dare to make a move? The sacred ancestors' faces were also incomparably pale. The chaos quasi-emperor in the sky descended from the sky. An intense light burst out from his eyes as he charged towards Lin Xian. However, it was also time for the two sides to confront each other again. Stop! You guys won't succeed today. Lord Alcohol shook his head and said. The chaos quasi-emperor's face became incomparably ugly. Indeed, he felt a sense of danger. Now that the other party had an additional quasi-emperor's corpse, it would be difficult to deal with him. However, he had come with supreme power. If he retreated just like that, it would be a slap to his face. Where would he put his face in the future? Therefore, he would not leave easily. Lin Xian walked out and said as he looked ahead, Hun Tian, this matter started because of me. Now, are you going to end it in our hands? Let's have a one-on-one battle. Do you dare? Hun Tian's face also turned cold. He did not say a word. Lin Xian sneered. Why? You don't dare? Forget it if you don't dare. I thought you were a man, but now it seems that you're just SOSO. From now on, you're not worthy of being my opponent. What did you say? Hun Tian gritted his teeth and roared. How dare you look down on me? Lin Xian sneered. Why, am I wrong? You don't even have the courage to fight with me. After saying that, he looked at the Chaos Quasi-Emperor and sneered. I finally know why you're in such a hurry to kill me. It's because your Chaos tribe has no successor. You don't have anyone who can fight. Young man, don't be too arrogant. The geniuses of our Chaos tribe are beyond your imagination. Is that so? Then let him come out and fight. Now, everyone in the world is watching. Lord Alcohol also said, If you don't dare to admit it directly, we can spare your life. After the others saw this, they also began to discuss. The people of the Starfall Immortal platform said, Hun Tian won't dare, right? I think it's possible. I heard that he lost to Lin Wuti previously. It seems that there is a gap between them. In the future, Lin Wuti will definitely dominate the world. Hearing these words, Hun Tian's face became incomparably ugly. He turned his head to look at Hun Tian and said, Tianer attack. I believe in you. Hun Tian's face was ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, Old ancestor, it's not that I don't want to attack, but that kid has too many trump cards. He has a boundary emperor corpse and an extreme weapon. If he uses such power, I won't be able to resist at all. You don't have to worry about this. The two of us will set up a space where the boundary emperor corpse is not allowed to be used. We won't be allowed to use extreme weapons like the heaven-devouring jar. Everything will depend on our own strength. You don't have to worry anymore, right? Hun Tian gritted his teeth. He originally wanted to find some excuses, but now it seemed that he had no way out. He could only fight. Thinking of this, he took a deep breath. Then let's fight. Chapter 5304. Hun Tian walked out. At this point, he had no choice but to fight. The law of primal chaos on his body condensed into a battle suit, making him look extraordinarily mighty. He walked over step by step with a vast power, shocking the surrounding people. Although Hun Tian lost this time, his opponent was still the double champion. He was still a terrifying existence. The others retreated one after another. They took a deep breath, wondering who would win this battle. I think Lin Wuti is stronger, someone said. After all, he defeated Hun Tian last time. Some people shook their heads. That might not be the case. You all know that Lin Wuti has an extreme weapon. Last time, he might have defeated Hun Tian with an extreme weapon. However, this time he was not allowed to use weapons. He had to rely on his own strength. Lin Wuti might not be able to win. Lin Xian looked ahead with a calm gaze, and the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. You still dare to come out and fight with me. At least you have some courage. You are not that useless. Come on, let's settle our grudges with this battle. Hun Tian shouted coldly. I was careless last time. This time, I won't lose to you again. As he spoke, he slapped out with his palm. The primal chaos palm illuminated the sky and swept forward. A terrifying killing intent surged out. Heaven and earth kept shattering. What a terrifying power! Was this the double champion? At this moment, even the sacred leaders were moved. Such a person was already qualified to compete with them. Lin Xian also shouted coldly. Terrifying flames appeared on his body. The nine-yang divine body released a terrifying radiance, as if he had turned into a god of war. He punched out with a force that could split the sky. At the same time, he slashed out with his left hand. With a vast light, it turned into a giant dragon that descended from the sky. The two collided and shook incomparably. The primal chaos palm shattered. Hun Tian was furious. He formed a seal with his palm. The primal chaos seal. The seal had the power to overturn heaven and earth. The momentum of this attack was so great that it shook everyone's hearts. Lin Xian waved his sword. Terrifying sword chi surged out and swept across heaven and earth. The two collided and shook incomparably. Han Tian was suppressed. "You can't do it," Lin Xian said coldly. The primal chaos quasi-emperor in the sky had an extremely cold expression. Damn it! Was this Lin Wuti more terrifying than their double champion? He said coldly. Tian, show me your true power. Yes, ancestor, I understand. Han Tian was also brimming with killing intent. He waved his hands, and a terrifying chaos pagoda appeared, shaking the 9 heavens. The primal chaos treasure pagoda opened up heaven and earth, suppressing the sword energy. Heaven overflowing radiance engulfed that place. Countless people were shocked. This couldn't be right. What kind of divine ability was this? Chaos suppressing heaven and earth? Why do I feel a sense of fear? He could even suppress Lin Wuti's sword chi. It was unbelievable. Wang. Lin Xian's sword chi was being suppressed, but he wasn't afraid. A mysterious rune appeared in his eyes. After opening the Rinnegan, the terrifying blade of reincarnation slashed forward. With a Piu Chi sound, Han Tian cried out miserably. His soul was injured again, and blood dyed the sky red. Not good. Han Tian was injured. Countless people exclaimed, and even the pupils of the Chaos Quasi-Emperor shrank. His face was incomparably cold as he stared ahead with murderous intent. The Rinnegan. He gritted his teeth. He didn't expect Lin Xian to have such magical eyes. Lin Xian looked ahead and said coldly, "If this is all you have, then you have lost this battle." His voice spread in all directions, shocking everyone. "Damn it, kid, you underestimate me too much." Han Tian roared angrily, and a terrifying chaos rune formed between his eyebrows. It was in the shape of a giant axe, and it directly protected his soul. The next moment, he roared angrily, and endless power erupted from his body. He charged over. He wanted to fight Lin Xian in close combat. Lin Xian fought against him. With a clang, the two shook and a terrifying aura erupted. One of them had the chaotic body, while the other had the 9-yang divine body. At this moment, when they attacked together, it was really shocking. However, Lin Xian's divine body was being suppressed. Did you see that? My soul has surpassed your 9-yang divine body. I won't lose this battle. Han Tian's eyes regained confidence. Surpass my physique. Lin Xian sneered. Is that so? His fist split open the sky. With a punch, it shook all directions. The two fought again, and gradually he was no longer suppressed. The flames that filled the sky were terrifying. Everyone was shocked, and even the Chaos Quasi-Emperor's expression changed. Impossible. The 9-yang divine body was definitely not ranked as high as the chaotic body in the starry sky. How could it be a draw? Damn it! Why do I feel an astonishing power in his flames? What kind of flames did it fuse with? Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body had indeed fused with the purple sun divine fire, so its power had become extremely terrifying. Now, it could compete with the chaotic body, which was ranked higher than him. At this moment, the terrifying light of reincarnation appeared in Lin Xian's eyes again. With infinite power, he charged forward. Not good. Everyone was terrified. Last time it was because of this pair of eyes that Han Tian was injured. Would he be able to resist this time? With a clang, Han Tian's body let out an earth-shaking sound. If the giant axe phantom between his eyebrows had blocked this attack, he would have been defeated. Han Tian retreated, his face pale. However, he laughed. Ha 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 ha, kid, did you see that? Do you think I don't have a way to restrain you? You don't understand our reincarnation body at all. Next, I will let you feel despair. He shouted angrily and roared at the sky. His reincarnation body erupted with an unparalleled brilliance. At the same time, a giant axe phantom appeared behind him. This phantom axe soared into the sky from his bloodline, carrying monstrous bloodline runes. Heavens, what is this? Hun Tian actually has such power? He actually blocked the Rinnegan. Cries of surprise rang out one after another. The people of the Thousand Dragon Dynasty were shocked. This should be the super bloodline of the chaotic race. The corners of Zifu's mouth also curled up. Rumor had it that the chaotic race used a divine axe to create heaven and earth. It indeed existed in their bloodline. Hun Tian summoned the bloodline divine axe. Then he held it with both hands and slashed forward. An unparalleled divine power swept out in all directions. At this moment, the world shook and the surroundings kept shattering. The spectators were all shocked. Even the pupils of the sacred lords constricted. They would probably have to retreat from this attack. What is this? Is he going to create heaven and earth? At this moment, Hun Tian was too powerful. He was like a supreme god that people could only look up to. The pupils of the heavenly court's people constricted. Murong Qingqing and the others' expressions changed drastically. They didn't expect Hun Tian to have such strength. One had to know that when he was fighting against Lin Xian, Hun Tian didn't use this bloodline at all. The other party was hiding his strength. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably cold. He used the demon summoning scripture. A pitch-black, demonic shadow also appeared behind him. As soon as the demonic shadow appeared, it also had a trace of Emperor's might that swept in all directions. Everyone felt their hair stand on end again. They looked at Lin Xian with horror. What is this? Lin Xian also has a super bloodline. Chapter 5305. At this moment, even the people of the Han Dun tribe were stunned. However, the Han Dun quasi-emperor's pupils constricted. No, this isn't the power of the bloodline. This is the power of the earth. He cultivated the great emperor's ancient scripture. An extremely terrifying divine light burst out from his eyes as he stared straight ahead. He wanted to see through that demonic figure. However, the demonic figure turned its head slightly, forgetting to come over. With a boom, the Han Dun quasi-emperor felt a piercing pain in his gaze. What's going on? That demonic figure was actually able to counterattack. It was too strange. What other secrets does Lin Xian have? However, he soon snorted. No matter what secrets he had, everything would be over after this battle. He was very confident in his family's bloodline, the divine Fu axe. The bloodline divine axe in the sky slashed down. Lin Xian stood there, and the demonic shadow behind him formed seals with its palms, looking extremely ancient. It slowly raised its hand. At this moment, it was as if a demon god had been resurrected. The black, demonic figure covered the sky and charged forward. With a boom, the sky shattered and countless large cracks formed. Even Lord Alcohol was slightly surprised. He frowned as he looked at the demonic figure. However, he didn't say anything. Boom! The bloodline divine axe and the demon god's shadow collided. With a boom, the sky and earth were pierced through. At this moment, everyone felt a shocking power sweeping out in all directions. Oh no, they've gone crazy. No one would be able to survive under this power. However, at this moment, two quasi-emperors took action to stop this aura. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. Are they really two young people? At this moment, even the sacred lords felt a chill run down their spines. Who won and who lost? Everyone was paying close attention. Even the two quasi-emperors looked over with rapt attention. In the next moment, the Han Dun quasi-emperor frowned while Lord Alcohol smiled. Soon, everyone also noticed that the bloodline divine axe in the sky was in a stalemate with the demon god's shadow. The two were evenly matched. Everyone was in an uproar, but the experts of the Han Dun tribe exclaimed, "This is impossible. How can our bloodline divine axe be unable to defeat him? They've all gone crazy." One had to know that the primal chaos tribe had created the world. According to the legends, The ancestor had used a godly axe to split the entire universe into two. Later on, their bloodline gained the power of the godly axe. Now that they had the strongest bloodline, the other party would not die for sure. But the result was unexpected. That demonic shadow actually blocked it. It was unbelievable. Your bloodline power is indeed very strong, but that's it. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light as he attacked again. Demonic God Seal. One of the palms was incomparably vast. It transformed into the fury of the thunder god and charged forward. With a loud boom, the sky shook from the impact. One of his arms was broken. On the other hand, Lin Xian attacked again. His sword qi was like thunder connecting into one. Every strike was incomparably terrifying, causing Han Tian to vomit blood and be sent flying. His body was covered with sword scars. Lin Xian charged forward. Not good. Han Tian's aura was declining. Some people frowned when they saw this. The faces of the Thousand Dragons dynasty and the Golden Crows turned ugly. In a battle between experts, confidence was very important. Now, Han Tian's confidence seemed to have been shattered. He was suppressed by Lin Wuti. Indeed, Han Tian kept vomiting blood and was injured. The people of the Primal Chaos tribe exclaimed, "Your Highness, quickly counterattack." Even Han Dun's expression had become extremely ugly. As for the others, they were amazed. This Lin Wuti was really too powerful. Could it be that he was going to win this battle? Lin Xian snorted. A yin-yang image appeared in his hand, turning into a yin-yang sword and charging forward. The yin-yang sword was incomparably terrifying. It swept through everything. Even the sacred leader felt that his life was in danger. At this critical moment, Han Tian roared. He waved his hands, and the bloodline axe appeared again. He sent the yin-yang sword flying. In the next moment, he roared into the sky and merged. The bloodline axe merged with his body. In the next moment, Han Tian changed. All the bones in his body emitted crackling sounds, and his entire body turned into a giant axe. He stood in the void. "Kid, this is my strongest attack. Now you can see it. You can die with pride." A cold voice came from the giant axe. Everyone's hair stood on end. What happened? Han Tian turned into a weapon. It was too unbelievable. Even Lord Alcohol frowned when he realized the might of the gigantic axe. It was more powerful than the bloodline axe that he summoned before. It was even more powerful. The Primal Chaos Quasi-Emperor laughed. Our Primal Chaos tribe's bloodline is extraordinary, but the most powerful thing is the Chaos body. This was the biggest secret of the Chaos body. He could unleash the full potential of his bloodline. The power of the divine axe appeared again. That's right. The Chaos body had the biggest secret. He had turned into a divine axe that could split heaven and earth. This power had surpassed the demon god's shadow. Everyone was shocked. Lin Wuti was in danger. He couldn't withstand it, unless he used the heaven-devouring jar. But this battle didn't allow the use of weapons. Could Lin Wuti merge with the demon god's shadow? If it could, its power would increase exponentially as well. Everyone was looking forward to it. Even the people on the Nebula Immortal Plateau were looking forward to it. However, Lin Xian frowned. He could only summon the demon god's shadow, but he couldn't merge with it. Therefore, when he looked ahead, his expression was incomparably solemn. It seemed that he had underestimated his opponent. Was this the true power of the Chaos body? But so what? He roared angrily and charged out. Han Tian, who was at the front, charged over. At this moment, he had turned into a divine axe and chopped down on the demon god's shadow. The demon god's shadow dimmed. Then it disappeared. Lin Xian also retreated, and a terrifying crack appeared on his body. His internal organs were exposed. He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face became extremely pale. He was injured. Countless people exclaimed. Lin Wuti was finally injured. His 9-yang divine body was broken. Everyone was shocked. Brother Xian, Murong Qingqing and the others exclaimed. Yan Ruyu, Heishan, and the others' faces became extremely grave. Was Lin Xian going to lose? He was no match for Lin Wuti. The people of the Purple Mansion laughed. The Golden Crow clan and the Twins of Destiny sneered. Lin Wuti was finally going to die this time. Their peerless enemy was going to enter the 18 levels of hell. The people of the Thousand Dragons court also looked extremely grave. The chaos body was indeed strong. If their prince hadn't died, they probably would have been able to sweep through everything from the beginning until now. Thinking of this, they sighed. Lin Wuti should die. It would be best if he died. They gritted their teeth. Han Tian flew over again. He turned into a giant axe and said coldly, "Do you still think that you are my match? This time, I will cleave you in half and let you fall completely." His giant axe released a monstrous divine power, and then it exploded and slashed again. Chapter 5306. Everyone's hair stood on end in the face of this axe. Lin Wuti couldn't block it at all. Was he going to die? This was a young supreme being who had the potential to become a great emperor. But now he had fallen. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian roared. He didn't use the demon summoning scripture. Instead, he used the Rinnegan with all his strength. The Rinnegan I kept spinning as if it was drawing the 6 paths of reincarnation. At the same time, endless runes flew out and formed a terrifying 6 paths world. The world shook, and the sky was about to shatter. Everyone was stunned when they saw this. Lin Wuti didn't fuse with the demon god's shadow. It was useless. The Chaos Quasi-Emperor sneered. After using his strongest physique and turning into the Chaos Divine Axe, all soul attacks couldn't hurt him. However, Lord Alcohol was looking forward to it. Could it be that this little guy wanted to use that thing? But it was too much for him to only have one eye. He was also worried for Lin Xian. Lin Xian's Rinnegan was becoming more and more mysterious. The Rinnegan runes on it kept spinning. Then a ray of light flew out. As soon as this ray of light appeared, the world shattered. Even the divine axe in the Sky Palace stopped. It kept shaking. What was this? Han Tian's expression changed. Damn it. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be a threat to him. He attacked with all his strength. However, it was too late. Lin Xian's Rinnegan had completely erupted. The Rinnegan light condensed between heaven and earth, then turned into an illusion. It was as if it had crossed the ancient time and space, causing the whole world to collapse. The surrounding people were also sent flying. Their faces were full of shock. It was a sword. Finally, a divine ancestor exclaimed. Lin Wuti had used a sword. What sword was it? They were extremely shocked. The sword seemed to be formed by 6 connected worlds. It was extremely terrifying. Everyone felt that their souls were about to be reincarnated. The Purple Mansion Master's face was pale. She said in horror, "Could it be the reincarnation sword?" Her voice was trembling. When the others heard this, they were even more dumbfounded. What? The reincarnation sword? The reincarnation sword of the 5 swords of the world? It wasn't broken long ago. 10,000 dragon dynasties, Elder exclaimed. That was impossible. The experts of the Kunping clan gasped. Lin Wuti had Rinnegan in one of his eyes. Legend has it that the Rinnegan and the Samsara sword have a mysterious connection. Rinnegan can summon the Samsara sword. Kunping Z was shocked. The other party had actually summoned the Samsara sword. Fire Qilin's pupils also shrank. Lin Wuti had the dragon sword soul, and his combat power was far superior to others. Could he summon the Samsara sword now? 2 of the 5 swords of the world were related to him. Furthermore, the devouring sword was a quasi-emperor from the other side. This Lin Xian was too heaven-defying. Although the Samsara sword was only an illusion, it had indeed been summoned. He collided with the giant axe. The giant axe kept shaking, but in the end did not fall. Instead, it was sent flying. The next moment, the samsara sword disappeared, and the giant axe was also sent flying. The two of them separated once again. Between them was an incomparably terrifying, great cosmic rift. It was blocked. Lin Wuti really blocked it. Countless people were shocked. The people of the Handan tribe were stunned. The Handan quasi-emperor's face became extremely solemn. He stared at Lin Xian. On the other side, the Jiao Shao quasi-emperor in Yao Guang's mind was roaring crazily. I must get this body. You, help me get this body, and I will give you anything you want. He had truly gone mad because he desperately wanted to obtain every single treasure on Lin Xian's body. Puff! Han Tian, who was opposite him, spat out a mouthful of blood. His face became extremely pale. He transformed from the giant axe into his human form again and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. The samsara sword just now had injured him. At that moment, he seemed to have entered the cycle of reincarnation for thousands of years, causing his soul to be severely injured. If he had not used his strongest Handan body and divine axe bloodline just now, he would have died long ago. But even so, he was seriously injured. Lin Xian's situation was not good either. His right eye was tightly shut. There was even a line of blood tears on it. Obviously, using the Rinnegan to summon the samsara sword was beyond his endurance. He probably would not be able to use the Rinnegan again in a short period of time. Everyone was shocked. Both of them were seriously injured. So the outcome was not certain. The Handan quasi-emperor shouted coldly, "This is your chance. Use the Chaos Divine axe again and kill him." He now felt a sense of crisis. Although he was a quasi-emperor, he felt that Lin Xian might be a threat to him. Han Tian also took a deep breath. He also knew that the other party's Rinnegan could no longer be used. This was the best opportunity to kill the other party. If he missed this opportunity, it would be difficult to kill him in the future. He roared angrily, and his bloodline burned. He transformed into the Chaos Divine axe again, and a terrifying aura erupted. Everyone was shocked. God, Han Tian was going all out. He was burning his bloodline. Even if he won this battle, he would be seriously injured. It seemed that Lin Wuti was really too dangerous. Han Tian did not hesitate to damage his foundation to kill the other party. This time, Lin Wuti did not have the Rinnegan or the demon god's phantom. Would he be able to withstand it? He was dead meat. Fire Qilin sneered. Kuanpeng Zi also shook his head. Murong Qingqing and Yan Ryu were also extremely nervous. Lin Xian laughed. Are you going all out? It seems that you have no more moves left. Next, the one who will be defeated will be you. Han Tian sneered. You are still so stubborn even when you are about to die. Show me what else you have. He roared angrily and attacked again. The reincarnation divine axe slashed down, splitting the sky and earth. Lin Xian used Shadowless Heaven's net and dodged instantly. He had a pair of black wings on his back, which made his speed even faster. Do you only know how to dodge now? This means that your path has come to an end. Let me end you. Han Tian regained his confidence. His opponent did not dare to fight against him, which meant that his opportunity had finally arrived. The others also had the same thought. Lin Xian sneered. Do you think that your Chaos Divine axe is powerful? Today, let me show you what it means to be unparalleled in the world. As soon as his voice fell, the sound of a dragon rang out from Lin Xian's body. At this moment, everyone's soul shook and their blood boiled. Even the people from the 1,000-dragon imperial court turned pale. Damn it, this sound, could it be? On the other side, the Crimson Dragon and the others laughed. The dragon experts behind him were excited. This was a dragon soul, a great dragon soul. Murong Qingqing and the others were also happy. Could it be that Brother Xian was going to use the great dragon sword soul? That's right, the great dragon sword soul rushed out and merged with Lin Xian's body. At this moment, Lin Xian's sword energy soared into the sky. He seemed to have turned into a divine sword. Chapter 53:07. At this moment, Lin Xian was like a peerless sword god. He swept in all directions and merged with the great dragon sword soul. Man and sword as one. Lin Xian looked ahead and said, "Let me tell you what the strongest attack is." Lin Xian's sonorous voice spread all around. The surrounding people also exclaimed in surprise, "The strongest attack? How dare he say that?" However, they did feel the invincible power in Lin Xian's body. "Kill!" Han Tian roared angrily. The chaotic aura on his body bloomed and turned into the chaotic divine axe. He slashed down again. His aura was stronger than before. He was already burning his bloodline. Lin Xian snorted. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a giant dragon. He also attacked aggressively, man and sword as one. The sword swept across, destroying heaven and earth. The two collided, and the vast divine power spread out in all directions. The surrounding people were shocked and vomited blood. Oh heavens, he blocked it. He really blocked it. This Lin Wuti actually had such power. This should be the legendary Great Dragon Sword. Although it was only a sword soul, it was still terrifying. Lin Xian was too unusual. He summoned the reincarnation sword and had the great dragon sword soul. These were 2 of the 5 swords in the world. Moreover, the great dragon sword was an unparalleled saint art. It was absolutely terrifying. The 2 sides fought fiercely. Han Tian felt the sharp aura and his scalp tingled. He roared angrily. This was his last chance. He would never allow himself to be defeated again. The divine axe swept through everything in its path. Lin Xian snorted. He turned into a dragon-shaped sword intent and swept across all directions. He slashed out with the sword, and a terrifying aura bloomed on it. What kind of sword technique was this? It must be a Thearcha's divine ability. Countless people exclaimed because they found this sword technique too strange. Like a ghost, he suddenly appeared behind Han Tian. It was aimed at Han Tian's vital parts. After Lin Xian became one with the sword, he performed the Shura sword technique. He slashed out with the sword. It was a sure-kill divine skill. Han Tian felt the danger. The divine axe aimed at the back of the exhibition area. It set off monstrous laws. With a boom, he was sent flying and vomited a large mouthful of blood. Lin Xian laughed coldly. "You're no match for me in terms of attack power." The more Lin Xian fought, the braver he became. His great dragon sword soul had reached perfection. The surrounding people were all stunned, because they realized that Lin Xian was really too strong. Damn it, how could it be like this? On the other hand, the faces of the Han Dun tribe turned extremely ugly. Was Han Tian going to lose again? They couldn't bear it. The primal chaos quasi-emperor's eyes were filled with murderous intent. He could not help but want to attack. However, Master Jiu, who was at the side, stared at him fixedly. He had no chance at all. Great, Brother Xian has the upper hand. A beautiful smile appeared on Murong Qingqing's face. This smile stunned the surrounding people. Lin Xian let out a dragon roar, and the illusion of 10,000 dragons appeared around him. The people from the dragon clan were also shocked. Damn it! There's something wrong with this brat's bloodline. Why do I sense such a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons? They were shocked. How could they know that Lin Xian had fused with the bloodline of 10,000 dragons and had long possessed the great dragon sword soul? Therefore, the aura of the Tao of Dragons on his body was incomparable. At this moment, Lin Xian's entire body was blooming with a monstrous light. He seemed to have turned into a peerless divine sword. He slashed out with the Azura sword art. This sword was extremely powerful. The sword light in front of everyone's eyes disappeared. Only killing intent filled the sky. The divine axe split open the sky. On the other side, Hun Tian also let out an angry roar. He also used his strongest power. Heaven and earth shook. A terrifying light enveloped the 9 heavens and 10 lands. At this moment, even the sky split open. Was he going to go all out? Everyone was shocked. They knew that the victor would be decided soon. In the next moment, a bolt of divine thunder rang out. Everyone's blood surged, and they couldn't stand steadily. They saw the two collide. The light in front of them was like 10 suns that were about to split open. Everyone couldn't see clearly at all. They could only feel the terrifying aura. In the next moment, a miserable scream sounded in front of them. Everyone's scalps went numb. Who was it? Someone must be injured. Was it Hun Tian or Lin Wuti? They couldn't be sure at all. The 2 quasi-emperors' eyes were also bursting with a divine light as they looked ahead. Damn it. Suddenly, the Chaos Quasi-Emperor let out a roar. A pair of chaotic hands grabbed in front of him. He wanted to tear that storm apart. At this moment, a chaotic vortex appeared and blocked the heavenly hands. Lord Alcohol said coldly, "How dare you sneak attack a battle between young people? Do you think I don't exist? Damn it, how dare you stop me? Get lost." The Chaos Quasi-Emperor let out an angry roar and punched out with the Chaos Divine Fist. However, the black vortex was extremely terrifying. It swallowed the sky and earth and blocked the attack. Lord Alcohol's sword Chi soared into the sky. His face darkened as he said coldly, "Since you want to fight, I'll keep you company." The surrounding people went crazy. Why was the Chaos Quasi-Emperor so angry? Could it be? They looked at the battlefield in front of them and had a thought in their minds. Could it be that the person who screamed just now was Hun Tian? Only such a situation could make a Quasi-Emperor so angry. Heavens, Hun Tian was injured. Such an attack must have seriously injured him. Could it be that he was going to be defeated? Impossible. How could His Highness be defeated? The experts of the Chaos tribe roared crazily. Their faces were pale as they couldn't accept it. That was their Chaos physique, the strongest bloodline. If they were defeated, it would be a huge blow to them. On the other side, the Purple Mansion's master also frowned. This was impossible. The Chaos physique and the super strong bloodline turned into the Chaos Divine Axe. With such strength, he shouldn't be defeated. As for the others, such as Yi Wu Dao, Gu Feng, Kuan Pingzi, Fire Qilin, and the others, their eyes were also shining with a cold light. Everyone's expression was extremely solemn. The others' sacred lords gasped. The young genius had already grown to such a level. There weren't many people who could suppress him in the future. At this moment, the storm in front of them gradually disappeared. The light was no longer as dazzling. Everyone looked up. They wanted to see the scene in front of them clearly. The next moment, they were dumbfounded. They realized that the 2 people in front of them had separated. Lin Xian stood there like a peerless divine sword. On the other side, the Chaos Divine Axe that Hun Tian had turned into cracked. Chaos blood dripped from it, and his internal organs were badly damaged. Everyone gasped. He was really injured and seriously injured. At this moment, Hun Tian's body shook, and he regained his human form. His face was extremely ugly. How could it be? He had used his super strong physique and the Chaos Divine Axe. He could have defeated everything, but now he was seriously injured. This was a huge blow to him. On the other side, Lin Xian was like a sword god. He said coldly, "I said that you are no match for me. My attack is the real offensive sacred art." Chapter 5308. One stained the sky with blood, while the other was as mighty as the sword god. The outcome of the battle had already been decided. Hun Tian gritted his teeth. His eyes were bloodshot as he stared ahead. The great dragon's sword soul. Damn it, is this the legendary offensive sacred technique? Damn it, the power that the other party can unleash is too strong. It actually surpassed his divine axe. He was unwilling to accept this. Damn it, he felt a wave of regret when he thought of this. If he didn't use his avatar in the beginning, he would have killed Lin Xian the moment he met him. Then, Lin Xian wouldn't have had the chance to grow to such a level. It was all because of his carelessness. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world. Because of his arrogance, he gave his opponent a chance to grow. Now he could only lose. But he was unwilling to accept this. He roared at the sky as his black hair danced wildly. I'm unwilling to accept this. Lin Xian snorted coldly. So what if he was unwilling? Who in this world would be willing to accept defeat? However, only the strong could go on forever. You've lost, so you can go to hell. He slashed forward again. The terrifying sword Qi swept across the world, and everyone's scalp went numb. The pupils of the Handan tribe's experts constricted. Damn it, Lin Wudi. You still dare to attack? Lin Xian's expression was extremely cold. This battle was about to decide the outcome of the battle. Slash! He became one with the sword and once again erupted with monstrous power. He slashed out with his sword and sent Han Tian flying. Han Tian's body was sent flying. He was already severely injured, so how could he block this sword? His broken body couldn't be completely merged because of the invincible power. Sacred blood kept dripping from his body. Han Tian let out a miserable shriek as his soul became dim and lifeless. He could die at any time. Damn it, how dare you? The Handan tribe's experts roared crazily. Ancestor. They looked at the Handan quasi-emperor. The Handan quasi-emperor also said coldly, Go to hell, Ant. He pointed at Lin Xian, wanting to kill him. Lord Alcohol also attacked at this time. You've tried to assassinate me again and again. Are you looking down on me? That's fine too. Let's decide the victor today. Lord Alcohol's devouring vortex engulfed the Chaos Emperor. The two quasi-emperors instantly charged toward the 9 heavens. Without the threat of the quasi-emperor, Lin Xian quickly charged towards Han Tian. No! How dare you! The holy master of the Handan tribe roared in a frenzy. A terrifying chaos treasure pagoda suppressed the heavens and earth. However, Lin Xian executed Shadowless Heaven's net and was fast to the extreme. At this moment, he had turned into a dragon's sword and swept in all directions. That power was really too strong. Even the divine ancestor coughed up blood and was sent flying. However, there were too many sacred sovereigns around. The Purple Mansion Master and the Golden Crow tribe's sacred leader both attacked. However, Lin Xian also had quite a few holy lords on his side. The old ancestors of the Tao, the experts of the Heavenly Court, and the experts of the Nebula Immortal Foundation all made their moves. The scene was extremely terrifying. Buzz! At this moment, the void shattered and 3 battle swords charged over, directly attacking Lin Xian's back. This was a spatial divine ability. This attack was too sudden. It came and went like a ghost, making it impossible to guard against. Lin Xian felt the battle swords behind him. He suddenly turned around and waved the dragon sword. It directly tore the 3 battle swords apart. At the same time, he charged into the void. The terrifying dragon-shaped sword flew into the void and directly attacked the elder of the Gu family. Seeing this scene, the elder's pupils constricted and he wanted to escape. However, in the next moment, he was pierced through by the sword and was nailed to the void. Was this the power of the great dragon sword soul? It was indeed an offensive sacred art. He died in despair. The Destiny tribe's divine ancestor formed hand seals and transformed into a world of good and evil that continuously enveloped Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body shook and he almost fell from the sky. The Destiny tribe's divine ancestor smiled. Great, watch me send you to hell forever. Half of the world instantly turned into a pitch-black hell that wanted to swallow Lin Xian. At that moment, Lin Xian let out a roar. The great dragon's sword soul erupted again. At this moment, it turned into a 10,000-meter-long divine sword and directly split the hell. The Destiny tribe's divine ancestor was also split in half. Roar! Lin Xian roared. He used the power of the sword world. The terrifying power of the world poured into the great dragon sword. The sharp aura of the great dragon sword instantly skyrocketed. Slash! With a slash of the sword, the experts who wanted to get close were all sent flying. They were horrified. The power of this sword was stronger than before. This guy was going to fully recover. Great dragon's sword soul. Damn it. Han Tian's face also became incomparably ugly. He threw out the Chaos Treasure Pagoda and Chaos Shield. Even the Chaos World tried to resist. However, it was useless. Under this sword, they were all shattered. No, I'm not willing. I don't want to die. He roared crazily, but he was completely enveloped by this sword. Boom! The dragon's roar resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. At this moment, the experts of the dragon tribe also felt a huge suppression. Everyone could feel a peerless sword chi streaking across their souls. Then, the world became quiet because they realized that Han Tian's soul had disappeared. They turned their heads and saw a cloud of blood mist. 2 halves of a body fell from the sky. It was Han Tian. He was dead. They couldn't sense his vitality anymore. The sacred lords exclaimed one after another. No! Below! The experts of the Hundan tribe roared crazily. Their eyes were bleeding. They couldn't bear it. That was the Hundan body, their hope for the future. But now he had actually been killed by someone. Kill him. Kill Lin Wudi. Avenge his highness. The experts of the Hundan tribe rushed out crazily, and all kinds of sacred weapons flew out. The Hundan quasi-emperor in the 9 heavens also roared. He stretched out a foot and stomped down in the air like a giant spiritual god. At this moment, the world was shattered. The surrounding sacred lords all vomited blood and were sent flying. It was too terrifying. Once a quasi-emperor was angry, no one could fight against him. However, Lord Alcohol was calm. He slashed out with a black sword light and cut off the foot, and engulfed it. The next moment, Lord Alcohol's voice sounded. Lin Xian, well done. You don't have to worry about the quasi-emperor's revenge. I'll help you hold this quasi-emperor back so that he can't come out in a short time. As for the others, I believe you can fight them. With that, Lord Alcohol completely transformed into a black divine sword and enveloped the Hundan quasi-emperor. The next moment, the 2 of them shattered the void and disappeared. Damn it! The Hundan quasi-emperor let out an indignant roar. However, he was swallowed by the black vortex and didn't appear. Patriarch! The experts of the Hundan tribe roared crazily. Did their patriarch disappear? Damn it! The experts of the Purple Mansion sect were also gnashing their teeth. It seemed that the 2 quasi-emperors wouldn't be able to determine the winner in a short time. However, this was also a good opportunity. It meant that Lin Wudi didn't have a quasi-emperor behind him. This was a good opportunity to kill him. With a roar, the Purple Mansion sect experts appeared one after another. The other experts also attacked. They decided to join forces to kill Lin Xian here. Chapter 5309. The death of the Chaos Dual Crown King shocked countless people. The impact of the fall of such a young, supreme being was too terrifying. However, something even more shocking happened. They decided to kill Lin Xian as well. Lin Xian's face was pale. The battle with Han Tian had consumed a lot of his energy, and he was also injured. Coupled with the shocking sword strike at the end, his body was indeed weak. However, when he saw this scene, his expression turned gloomy and cold. You want to kill me? Do you have the ability? He waved his hand and directly shot out the heaven-devouring jar. Everyone, let's fight. The people of the heavenly court had long been experienced in dealing with the patriarchs of the Tao. When they saw this scene, They directly channeled their power into the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar erupted with light and shot out a ray of light. In an instant, hundreds of saints screamed and turned into a bloody mist. When the others saw this, their hair stood on end and they quickly used their extreme weapons. They retreated frantically, and the 10,000 dragons picture appeared and swept across heaven and earth. Everyone provided their power to block the heaven-devouring jar. Then an ancient void mirror appeared out of thin air, and the power of the void tore heaven and earth apart. Many people on Lin Xian's side vomited blood, and their bodies shattered and turned into a bloody mist. At this moment, the Yi family's heaven and earth cauldron appeared. Yi Wudao seemed to have transformed into a god. The immortal King Phantom behind him held the heaven and earth cauldron and swept through the area. He fought against the Void Realm. As soon as these extreme weapons appeared, they froze heaven and earth. Everyone's hair stood on end as they frantically channeled their power. At this moment, Lin Xian took out the Quasi-Emperor's corpse. He said coldly, "Whoever wants to die, come out. I'll fulfill your wish." Seeing the Quasi-Emperor's corpse, everyone's hair stood on end. They knew that Lin Xian couldn't use his Rinnegan because he had summoned the reincarnation sword. However, who knew if he still had any trump cards? If he could use this Quasi-Emperor's corpse to sweep through all directions, then he would be invincible. Retreat! The people of the Golden Crow clan roared. The people of the Twin of Destiny clan also retreated. Goof Foam gritted his teeth, unwilling to give up. The people of the Purple Mansion also had cold expressions. They were also preparing to retreat. The people of the Primal Chaos clan roared. "No! Join hands and take him down!" The leader of the Z government shook his head. Unless they had an absolute advantage, they wouldn't be able to win. But from the looks of it, we didn't. It wouldn't be easy to kill him. At this point, he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, "Lin Wudi, you don't have to be so arrogant. Although you killed Han Tian, you're just a double champion." Let me tell you a secret. Our Violet Palace has the Triple Crown King. Although he was sleeping now, it wouldn't take long for him to appear. The first thing he will do when he appears is to kill you. Enjoy your last moments. After saying that, the Purple Mansion's mansion master turned around and left with his people. The surrounding people were shocked. What? The Purple Mansion also had the existence of the Triple Crown King. It was too unbelievable. One had to know that both Lin Xian and Han Tian were double champions. Both of them were already so terrifying. How terrifying was the Triple Crown champion? The sacred races felt their scalps go numb. Did such a person really exist? Lin Xian and the others looked even more serious. Damn it! The people of the Han Dun clan roared crazily. Now that these experts had retreated, they didn't have any extreme weapons in their hands. They could only leave unwillingly. "Lin Wudi, just you wait. We will definitely take revenge for His Highness. When our Quasi-Emperor ancestor returns, it will be the time of your death." Lin Xian sneered. "Han Tian deserved to die. You want a Quasi-Emperor to kill me? Stop dreaming." He trusted Lord Alcohol very much. Since Lord Alcohol said that he could restrain the other party, he didn't have to worry. The enemies retreated. The Heavenly Court, Nebula Immortal Platform, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xian's face was pale and his body swayed. Murong Qingqing and the others hurried over to support Lin Xian. "Quickly take Big Brother Xian away." They soared into the sky and left. News of this spread out, sweeping in all directions. It wasn't just the entire Yuhua ancient city that knew. It also spread out. The true spirit world, the buried Emperor Star, and the other worlds all knew about it. What? A Double Crown King had fallen? That was impossible. The Double Crown King was in existence, even more terrifying than the Imperial Prince. Moreover, this Double Crown King was even more extraordinary. That was the primal chaos physique of the primal chaos race. The primal chaos race was a race that created the world. not to mention the primal chaos physique. The primal chaos physique was the strongest bloodline in the primal chaos race. Who did it? Could it be that he was killed by an extreme weapon? No, it was Lin Wudy who killed him. What? Lin Wudy. That name was like thunder to everyone's ears. Previously, he had killed the Dragon Prince. Now, he had killed the Double Crown King. Was he trying to defy the heavens? Following that, more details about the battle were revealed. 2 quasi-emperors attacked, countless sacred lords attacked, and 4 extreme weapons confronted each other. All of this was because of Lin Xian. Things happened one after another, leaving everyone dumbstruck. The myriad worlds in the heavens were in an uproar. On the other side, the primal chaos race was in an uproar when they heard about it. They all knelt down and cried. Their most promising genius had fallen just like that. They issued a kill order. The 9 heavens and 10 earths had to kill Lin Wudy. As for the Zifu, the 1,000 Dragons Imperial Court, and the others, their hearts were heavy. Lin Xian's growth was really too fast. Who could suppress him in the future? When the Divine Union and the others heard about it, they cheered. Their leader, Lin Wudy, had taken another step forward. The other spectators were also amazed. This was a battle between gods. This was definitely the most exciting battle in the past 10,000 years. Both of them had the talent of a great emperor. It was just that Lin Wudy was better. There was probably no one who could stop Lin Wudy. Some people were shocked. In the future, he was very likely to become a great emperor, or at least a quasi-emperor. Some people also said that before the Zifu left, he had said something ruthless. The Zifu had a sleeping Triple Crown King. This was an even more terrifying existence. If this news was true, then Lin Wudy was still in danger. Triple Crown King. Heavens, what kind of power was this? It was hard to imagine. Everyone was shocked. Some people also said that other than Hun Tian, there were opponents. For example, Yao Guang, who cultivated the demonic sky-devouring skill, was unfathomable. She was growing faster. There was also the emperor of the Qilin race, the Fire Qilin, who was also a Double Crown King. He hid it very well. As for the other princes and princesses, if they had a heaven-defying opportunity, they would definitely be able to break through instantly. It was not that they did not have a chance. In an instant, everyone was talking about it. However, the most talked about was Lin Xian. After all, he had created one legend after another. Along the way, he had indeed made everyone look up to him. At this moment, Lin Xian had already entered the sword world and was recovering with all his might. Although he had also been injured in this battle, his condition was much better than Hun Tian's. As long as he had enough power, he would be able to completely recover to his peak. At the same time in the universe, another matter was discovered. The Hun Tian tribe returned with Hun Tian's corpse, but they were attacked halfway. Chapter 5310. Damn it, who is it? Is it Lin Wudy? They don't want to let us go. The Hundan tribe's experts roared crazily. They were on the verge of collapse. After all, Hun Tian's death was a huge blow to them. Now that they had returned with their corpses, someone had tried to assassinate them. What were they trying to do? Damn it! Do they really think that the Hundan tribe is easy to bully? Even if the ancestor isn't here, we can still sweep through everything. The sacred masters were furious. They displayed their powerful strength, shattering the sky and earth. However, a cold laugh came from the void. Then it turned into a terrifying vortex and charged over. It attacked the Hundan tribe's experts. Not good. It's the devouring quasi-emperor. They thought of Lord Alcohol, but in the next moment they realized that it wasn't him. There was no emperor's aura, and the devouring quasi-emperor should be with their ancestor. Then who was it? Was it the sky-devouring jar? No, it wasn't Lin Wudy's aura. They thought of another possibility, the demonic sky-devouring art. Damn it, you're a light-shaking realm expert, and you want to devour our chaos physique. Damn it! They roared crazily, and these people sped up. A few other experts stayed behind, preparing to kill the light-shaking realm experts. However, the light-shaking realm experts appeared and disappeared mysteriously, and their spatial abilities were superb. They dodged these attacks for a while. Damn it, this demonic sky-devouring art is too extraordinary. He has the Gu clan's ability. We have to be careful. The void in front of them shattered, and a man in cotton clothes walked out. He had a handsome face. He blocked the way. Hand over the chaos physique, and I can spare your lives. With just you, the three sacred masters walked out, their faces incomparably cold. Light-shaking realm. Although you're a young genius and have cultivated the demonic sky-devouring art, it's still too early for you to fight against us. Get lost immediately, or we'll destroy your soul. They were murderous. Han Tian was already dead, but the other party didn't even let go of his corpse. How could they tolerate it? Han Tian sneered, unmoved. He spoke to the void. Don't you think it's time for you to make a move? When the surrounding people heard this, their pupils constricted. Damn it, could it be that the other party had helpers? They looked around cautiously. However, they didn't find any experts. The primal chaos sacred leader snorted coldly. Do you think we'll believe you? However, at this moment, a cold voice sounded. Don't worry, I promise to give you the primal chaos body. Why would I go back on my word? The experts of the Hundan tribe turned pale when they heard the voice. Not good, let's go. The other party really had helpers. However, it was already too late. In the next moment, an illusory soul flew out. He stepped on the sky and swept through the world. It was the remnant soul of 9 firmaments, quasi-earth. Although it was only a remnant soul, its vast emperor's aura swept out. Countless people cried out in surprise. Great Emperor! No, it was a quasi-emperor. This light-shaking realm cultivator actually had a half-emperor by his side. Damn it, this man was as terrible as Lin Wudi, and he was even better at hiding. No, it's not a complete quasi-emperor. It's just a wisp of his soul. A sacred ancestor gritted his teeth. Remnant soul. Do you think you can contend against them? Quasi-Emperor Jiu Shao sneered. In the next moment, his emperor's aura swept out in all directions. Those sacred ancestors resisted with all their might, but they were still sent flying backward while vomiting blood. In the next moment, they froze in the void, their faces filled with despair. They let out a roar of pain. Quasi-Emperor Jiu Shao said, Hurry up and do it. I can't hold on for too long. I'm very weak now. Speaking of this, a hint of coldness appeared in his eyes. Damn, Sakura. If he hadn't sealed me, I wouldn't have been so weak now. With his true strength, he could kill these sacred ancestors with just a glance. However, he couldn't do it now. One could only imagine how weak he was right now. Yao Guang, however, moved quickly. He charged forward. There was an ancient coffin there. Inside the coffin of chaos was Han Tian's corpse. Yao Guang immediately opened the coffin of chaos and kept the soul inside. I got it. Let's go. He flew into the distance. Quasi-Emperor Jiu Shao sneered. He formed a seal with his fingers and activated a great emperor's mystique. It was a soul technique. In the next moment, the Hundan tribe elites screamed in agony. The souls of the saints were destroyed, and the sacred ancestors vomited blood. They fell on their backs. No, Your Highness! They roared crazily. However, they no longer had the chance to fight back. Quasi-Emperor Jiu Shao and Yao Guang's figures gradually disappeared. News of what happened next also spread. When the people of the Hundan tribe who came to help found that the Hundan physique had disappeared, they all went crazy. Who did it? There were mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Only a few sacred ancestors were still alive. They asked. However, the situation of these sacred ancestors was even more strange. 2 of them had gone crazy. They couldn't tell what happened at all. The other 2 looked terrified. Every time they wanted to tell the truth, their souls would split open. That torture made them hover between life and death. In the end, the people of the Handan tribe didn't know who did it. Who stole the Handan physique? Damn it, someone is targeting our Handan tribe. Let's go back and wait for the sacred ancestors to return. These people were facing a great enemy. If the sacred ancestors were so injured, the person who did it must be very terrifying. They didn't dare to be careless and went back. When this matter spread, it caused an uproar. For a moment, countless people were guessing who dared to steal the Handan physique. Could it be that Lin Wudi wanted to kill them all? Some people guessed. Some people shook their heads. It was impossible. If Lin Wudi wanted to make a move, he would have done it at that time. Some people said, could it be that Yao Guang? He cultivated the heaven-devouring demonic art. When these words came out, the others' expressions were solemn. A few top-notch experts were extremely worried. This light, shaking realm cultivator was extremely strange. If he obtained the primal chaos body, if he had the Handan physique, then who knew how far he would grow? It was very likely that he would be even more terrifying than the Double Crown King, Han Tian. This was a peerless enemy. Of course, this was just a guess. No one had evidence that Han Tian had stolen the Handan physique. Some people guessed that other experts wanted to study the Handan physique's bloodline. For a moment, there were all kinds of guesses. When the news reached Lin Xian and the others, Yan Ruyu, the Crimson Dragon, and the others were shocked. However, there was no evidence, so this matter could only be dropped. In the sword world, Lin Xian slowly opened his eyes. At this moment, he had recovered about half of his strength. Most importantly, he had stabilized his foundation. As long as his foundation was fine, the rest were just minor injuries. Congratulations, kid. The Crimson Dragon flew in. You have killed a strong enemy again. But there are a lot of things I have to tell you. He told everyone about the theft of the Handan physique. After Lin Xian heard this, his pupils shrank. Damn it, it was the Yao Guang. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.